she's all alone. I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. She's all alone. I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. So just let the song play, the long way, the strong way. It's all day, it's always. This was all inspired by a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. Early in the morning, when she's all alone, I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. So just let the song play, the long way, the strong way. It's all day, it's always. This was all inspired by a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. Early in the morning, when she's all alone, I'ma take my time, do it how we want. Just to set the mood, girl, I brought some Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. So just let the song play, the long way, the strong way. It's all day, it's always. This was all inspired by a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. And this was all inspired by a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay.
I was raised in society, so there's no way you can expect me to be a perfect person. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
For a record like this to be published, it has no place in our society. Well, what's the withdraw of this record? Withdraw of this record.
That's all.
It has no
That's all I like.
in our society. Let the American people see Dan Quayle as they really are. Let the American people see Dan Quayle as they really are. Let the
I was
American
raised in
people
society, so
see
there's no
Dan
way you
Quayle
can expect me
as
to
they
be a
really
perfect
are.
person. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely no reason for a record like this
That's how I
There's
feel. I'm gonna do
absolutely
whatever I
no
like.
reason for a
I'm not a
record
role
like
model.
this to be published.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wyatt Live 1 p.m. conversation. Let's get straight down into it. I hear you, Brenda. Brenda Burt said, I hope we can get by today without all the hollering and cursing. Yeah, I've been working on my cursing. I've been working on my hollering as well. And I'm trying to do the best I can with reducing some of that behavior. What's good with everybody today? It's going to be a slow day today, I can see. And that's all good. I'm hoping in 2026 that we get a lot of people here that are here for the right reason. You feel me? I'm cool with that. I apologize for being a little bit late. The beginning of the years are really busy for me, quite frankly. So I probably for the first couple weeks, maybe even the first month of the year, I may not be totally prepared, so I'm making you prepared. You know what I'm saying? I'm preparing you that I may not be totally prepared for the show or for the conversation for the first month, okay? Because I generally walk in here right when it's time to get this thing started. So I want to thank those that are here, the few and the two that are here. Maybe people's New Year's resolution is to stay away from shows and detox. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe take a break from social media. It might serve some of us pretty damn good. I don't know if Twin is here today, but I do have to ask him something. For some odd reason, folks, and I mean this sincerely, okay? I don't mean to shoot no shade at anybody. I'm trying to be as cool about this as I possibly can, but I'm getting a little annoyed by being tagged on other shows. And here's the thing: it's not the kind of annoyance that you may think. Like I'm on some hate and stuff. It's not that at all. It's please leave me out of somewhere. I mean, like leave me out of other places that don't rock with me. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand what's so hard about that. I don't understand what's so hard about that. I mean, oh, that's okay, Alethea. It's all good. I don't understand what's hard or what's difficult about leaving me out of what y'all doing other places. I don't necessarily bring up you or what you do or where you are. And I'm not talking about Twin. Oh, okay, Shaba. I didn't know, bro. It's like I keep getting these little tags and shit. And for what? If you look, here's what I want to ask Twin, because he said, what's happening, fam? Twin is here. I just want to know, what did you say today? Somewhere, I guess it was on the radio station, had to be, because that's where it would tag me to. What did you say today that made someone say that you're parroting what I'm saying? And what I don't understand is Twin is a grown-ass man. Twin says what he says. I don't know if y'all understand the relationship Twin and I have over here, but all you got to do is listen to him and I interchange in conversations. We don't always, I mean, I think we agree, but I don't think Twin think him and I agree. So I don't understand how y'all think, not y'all, but some folk think that when Twin is making his point somewhere else that he got it from me. Because Twin and I be sitting here tongue wrestling over somewhat the same point, but we say it different. So please stop attaching me to what another grown-ass man is doing and what he talking about. Because to me, that shit is kind of like, that's like you lightweight, like you, like, I don't even know if you understand how transparent it is to show that that's some hater shit. That's truly some hater shit. And the only person that's willing to say it is me. Like, you know, I know y'all smart enough to understand how that shit really works. You know, I'm like you know that some people ain't even gonna take the time. They know what they dealing with. They know that some people won't take the time to even figure out the truth from false, the truth, or somebody being false, somebody lying, somebody telling the truth. Some people don't do that. They just go by what the massive say, or what, you know, somebody say it, then it must be true. So what they do is they'll say, "Oh, he's just saying that shit Wyatt be talking about." And now what you doing is you basically trying to tell Twin is a megaphone of what I say, and he must be repeating what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And then that causes people that might want to hear, or I ain't even gonna say might need to hear, but need to hear a different perspective or a different way of hearing or saying what's going on. It's like running them people away. It's like running those people away. Like if there's a 60-year-old or a 70, no, let's just say there's an 80-year-old woman or man who's over at the senior citizen home who got to get out in March because they lease is up. You feel what I'm saying? And y'all didn't co-signed all that bad behavior, but yet that 80-year-old could be listening to the radio and they could hear something over here that might help them in their situation. That's all I'm saying. But instead, that 80-year-old is used to hearing who they listen to every day. That's their information source. That's where they get their information. And they're not getting other opinions or other references. They're not listening to anybody else. And you know why they won't listen to me is because y'all tear Twin down for his opinion, and then you attach my name to what he's talking about. What service are you doing? How are you helping? I mean, I'm not here for nothing. I'm not here for nothing. I'm here to try to shed a little bit of light of what's going on. And you know, we live in the era of lunchroom, sixth grade lunchroom tactics. Y'all know that. You know, all you got to do. And that's why that's why those audience don't listen to me. That's the only reason why. The only reason why they don't listen, it's not because I'm not a likable person. It's not because I say foolish stuff. It's not because I criticize people or I dog people or I shame people. It's not that at all. The only reason, I guarantee you, if one of the most popular people over there said, "Go listen to Wyatt," they would. They would. A lot of them would. Listen, this is the same reason why Nike went and got Michael Jordan. It's the same reason why hip hoppers control the trends. If people, it's all about influence. It's about this influence stuff been going on well before these microphones and these podcasts. Influence is just it has been used for decades in the marketing field. Go get the person that they'll listen to the most. Go get the person that the community. That's why they go get the preachers and the pastors. Whether the preachers and the pastors are telling the truth, they'll go get the preachers and the pastors because they know that that's the cushion. That's why they go get highly influenced voices in the community. So all I can say is this: when you attach my name to someone else because that person gives an opinion, whether it's their opinion or not, whether it's they said it properly or not, it's a reflection of me. So why would you do that? Like, why would you want an 80-year-old that's listening to the radio not to hear anything that I have to say? There's more resources than these community resources out here. You do know that. There's other people out here that have other plans other than the community, the nonprofit organization that's capitalizing off our people signing up for all these programs. There's other people that have other, like, how do you know that somebody that signed one of those leases in one of those apartment buildings down there, one of those elderly people, how do you know that lease is even valid? How do you know that lease is even valid at this point? How do you know that the front end was covered perfectly, but then the back end may be what they need to look at? How do you know that this person signed a lease and they were even in a position to do so? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, some people at the age of 80, because we got 22 and 23-year-olds can't read. There are some people at 80 years old who went through America who can't read and write, who, if they sign a lease, it can be non and voided. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. No one's gonna tell you that. So when I see 20% of a building, 20% of residents being knocked out because their leases are expiring or their leases are forcing them to pay double or somewhat triple their amount, you would have to ask, what elderly person would do that? Like, who would give up their way of life for the last 30 or 40 years and just recklessly sign a lease that was not in their favor, that was only good for 12 months, and they didn't see this other thing coming? Can this person read or write? Ain't nobody talking like that. So why not, instead of saying, hey, well, Twin said this and he ain't doing nothing but parroting Wyatt and he's saying everything Wyatt say, why don't you say this? And it's just a suggestion. You ain't got to do what I say. Y'all know that. You know how that work. Why don't you say this, man? It sounds like he's saying something that Wyatt say, but y'all might want to go listen to how Wyatt said. Maybe it's different. Maybe you'll hear it different, or maybe when you hear it come out of his own mouth instead of the parrot, maybe these folks would have a different understanding of what was really meant when it was said. So I'm going to ask Twin. I don't know if he called yet. This might be him on the phone on hold. I really don't know because it got a non-listed number. But whoever it is, I'm answering it. But all I'm saying to you is this. What did Twin say today? I'm going to ask him. What did you say today where you were parenting me? Because yesterday we were cats and dogs. The day before that, we were cats and dogs. So what are you saying? I didn't agree with some of the camera stuff you were talking about. I don't agree with how some people are mad about the cameras in the city of Cincinnati. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, young blood?
Twin, what's good, bro? I didn't know it was you because it said unnamed caller.
Yeah, we were fighting like brother, little brother, big brother.
Yeah, of course. I didn't mean that we was going at it like.
All love, Wyatt.
Exactly. You know, I didn't mean it like.
Let me express this. Clear the room right quick. What I said on the radio, and you shouldn't be tagged up in it. What I said didn't have nothing to do. They might say I'm parenting off you. I don't know. They always say that.
I know, but it's okay.
If I say something, but I was expressing myself.
What? Okay.
Hey, Wyatt, for the last 15 years, I've been listening to the radio station, right? And the same thing I hear every year after year. I'm like, why is you got, like you say, you got all your people in place, Democrats and all that, been mayor of Cincinnati, even the city manager. I ain't hear from no Republicans, none of that being city manager or the mayor here in Cincinnati. I didn't hear about no Trump or no Bush or none of that, but straight, why is we still getting played in the black community? And that's our own people that getting played. So I said, if you can spend $50,000, $500,000 on the sex change and everything under the leadership of Jim and Sharon Curley and the other dudes, probably Cramadine guy, for some sex change, but you can't get $50,000 on a light. That's what I said on the radio. So if y'all comparing that as what we talked about on Wyatt's show, but I said I was gonna bring it up.
Okay.
And I thought about it. They had Wyatt. They talked about the sex change, $50,000. You can't even put a dang on camera up there. And like the brother said, Sean on the radio, oh, if there was a leader or somebody got killed like that, I bet you them cameras been turned around or been put up. So it's making sense, man. If y'all keep on stop playing these old remote control ass game with people, then people get understand. You got old heads that listen to the Lincoln Ware, and I respect them and all that, but I don't agree with none what they saying.
Okay.
Because you got either you got people my age, a little bit older, your age, why, who still fucked up in the head and sit up there and want to shame me or whatever. Y'all don't even visit these communities. Only thing y'all niggas go off of is the news of what's going live. But go in there at nighttime, hang around some old guys or young folk, what up, family, like that, and you'll know what's really going on. They just give y'all a puppet show, a snippet. But just go enjoy it. Just sit down with these kids, man. Sit down with the elders and all that. That pump faking stuff, oh, well, we got vouchers and all that now. And, man, go sit down with the elders and really know what's really going on and talk to them. That what they tell y'all, whatever, and I'm talking about. And Dukeway, man, you was an informant and all that. And you pull up and everything and run game on the community. Come on, man, dismiss me
Now,
with that.
see, that might
and y'all
be.
get mad at me for
Did you
speaking
bring
my
that
mind?
up? Did you bring that up, twin? Did you say that?
Yes, I brought it up.
Okay, you brought up in Dukeway and
it
being
was
an
on my
informant.
man and heart. I was gonna bring it up regardless
So
if you want
now-
to go talk about on your show. It was coming, Wyatt, because I sit back and I did research. I'm like, they said this, they doing this, said this about a year when it was election time, giving that money to them sex change and all that. And I remember that lady saying that. But you got a camera right now, and you know it's deadly down there, and over the round, all the shooting and all that. Oh, it's been 2 years.
Hold on. Let me say something.
Ahead, Wyatt.
Let me just say something about the camera thing. I'm probably gonna blow a few people's mind. I'm not upset at the camera thing, okay? Because I understand that there's other ways of
He said he takes full responsibility. It was his fault. It's been 2 years.
Who said
That's
that?
what the mayor said that. He said
Well,
that
that's
on his
big
own
of
mouth.
him. That's big of him to be able to say that, to openly admit something like that. Now, I don't think it's his fault. I think the bottom line is him.
But if you got a city manager and all y'all leaders and saying all this shooting and all this keeping occurring in this one particular neighborhood, don't you think common sense will tell you, man, we got to put a camera or somebody got to go on here.
No,
Stop
let me tell you who fault it is. Let me tell you who fault it is, okay? And I don't like pointing fingers when it comes down to...
There's no new generation. We live man on the street code, use a op. I'm not telling. Figure it out yourself.
No, let me be honest with you and tell you who fault it is. And this is not going to feel good, but I'm not Dr. Feel Good, okay? It's the community's fault. It's the same. It's the people who won't speak up and tell the truth, who won't say what really needs to be said. They're too busy trying to fit in circles, and they're too busy trying to play Mr. Good Bar with all the wrong people or with the right people that can do things for them. It's actually the community's fault. If this shit was happening in Mason, Ohio, they wouldn't be they wouldn't be hollering at the mayor. They wouldn't be hollering at the city manager.
Man,
they would go.
They
would go to the source of the problem. They would go to the doors of the people who are causing the problems in them neighborhoods, and they would put them on Front Street. Okay, that's what they would be doing. The reason why black folks have this problem in our neighborhood is because we got too many fake ass black leaders that don't step up and tell the truth. They too busy trying to get 501c program money and all this other shit. They too busy trying to stay in line with the people that make the decisions. And when you stay in line with the people that's making the decisions, you got to see if their heart is right, if they decision makers, and if they doing the right things in the hood. Now, here's the other thing about parroting and doing the things that I'm talking about with you. See, when
did they understand that white girl? Did they took care of that white girl when her husband got stabbed down there over the round?
More so than any black man in the downtown area. Any black person that's ever been brutalized.
But y'all mad at Twin though.
No, they not mad.
Well, hey, get up out of here with that nonsense.
Being mad and upset, Twin, you have to understand, is not genuine. Okay, being mad and upset can sometimes be used as a tool. Okay, it can just be used as a deflection tool of, I'm gonna be mad at somebody because I can't be mad at the real thing. So I'm gonna put it on somebody. And then what happens is that little manipulation in that tool tends to spread. It's a toolbox. It's a toolbox. You only got
to get out and talk to the person, get to know. No, I ain't got to get to know none. Well, the Twin seeing it right now.
Well, all I'm saying to you, Twin, is this. All I'm saying, this is the only thing that brought it up, and we'll move on, brother. I just wanted to ask you, what did you say? Because it seems to be a normal thing.
I just told you what I just said.
Okay, so why don't if you see that? Because I get tagged, my name gets pulled up, and then it'll show up, it'll pull up, and then I'll hit I was mentioned or
I
whatever.
know that donkey of the day just try to say I'm parroting to what you saying and all that. That's a little immature ass games they
Well,
play.
all I'm saying,
but I'm not go. I'm not about to do that, man. This shit.
No, wait a minute.
I'm not about to be.
I'm asking for a solution to what I call my problem, because it's not your problem. It's not everybody's problem. This is a problem that I have. I believe that if you have an issue with someone, let's talk about it. Let's freaking talk about it. And here's what happens. You can always tell who's going to win in the conversation because of how long the conversation go and what direction the conversation start going in. When you start talking about accountability, then you got to start moving. People start the time machine come in. We can't talk about accountability now. We got to talk about accountability from decades ago, which in some people's mind, that might be relevant of what's going on today. But I don't know if it's as relevant as people think it is, because if that was the case, we all would be in those situations. We all would be making the same decisions. You know what I'm saying? We would all be doing the same thing. And it's not the case. Look, let me just say this to you. I don't blame, I'm saying this on open air, and people are not going to agree with me. And no, nobody's gotten to me. I'm an independent man who don't need any of the resources that those other people are lined up to try to get. I make my own rules. I make my own mind up, and I say what I want to say. And that's the difference between me and a lot of people. All right. Yeah. So now let me just say this. I don't blame the mayor. I don't blame the city manager. I don't blame police. I don't blame anybody in these areas, okay, that are vandalized, that are criminalized, that are that all this crime is happening in. I don't blame any of the authorities for that shit happening, okay? At this point, let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. It's the community's responsibility to clean the community. If the community want a different outcome, they would look for better leadership, because they would then go and hold those community leaders accountable. At a certain point, you got to just stop talking about who's accountable, who's responsible, where the camera's at, why y'all said this was going to happen. Now that you know that they didn't make it happen, now what's the next move? When are you going to be fed up with hearing, well, we going to get on that. We going to get to that. Trump, you know what I'm saying? When y'all going to get tired of hearing the same lineup? The same playbook is played. I mean, for me, it's played out. It's been played out. Okay, but I'm just asking, when are you going to stop listening to the shit that does not serve you? It does not serve you. And then they say they got you so manipulated that you're willing to accept. You're willing to accept. Well, I know, but the other side ain't no better. How do you know? You've never even tried it. Somebody tell you, you know what? Butter pecan ice cream is not good for you. It's not good for you. Why don't you try some chocolate ice cream? Nah, I can't eat chocolate ice cream. Why not? Well, my mama told me that chocolate ice cream got too much sugar in it. And your mama told you that 42 years ago. Your mom told you that shit 42 years ago. You might want to, butter pecan, I've been eating it for so long. I only break out so much. It only gives me indigestion. I've just learned to deal with it. But wait a minute. Why don't you try this dairy chocolate ice cream? You might like it. Well, no, because my mama told me 42 years ago that other ice cream ain't no good for me. So that's your answer? It ain't no good for you just because. And here's the thing. When you say that, it's not me trying to get you to go to the other side. It's actually me trying to give you some leverage to the side that you on. Yeah. Okay. Why don't the people that's serving you the ice cream that's not healthy for you, why don't you try to force them to serve other style ice cream? Why don't you force them to try to do something other than butter pecan? Why don't you force them to give you something for what you're giving them in return? And then I looked at this, I seen this story, Twin, of I seen that the Cincinnati Police Department is now being held responsible for not putting the cameras up. And then then Cincinnati Police Department says, well, we can't get a hold of the homeowners. To me, It's not a
So the
legitimate.
but so where you put it, you talking about the cameras that by the park
Correct. Now, from my
or
understanding,
any other place? Because that city, wouldn't that be required as a
no,
city responsibility?
no. The city. Okay, I have a building downtown Cincinnati. The city can't just come put a camera on my building without my permission.
Your property itself.
Yeah.
But if they're surrounded around the park and all that, light poles and all that, that's city limit, right?
Well,
That's city ordinance.
here's the thing. I think it's a lame ass excuse, but at the same time, it's an excuse that's acceptable because it makes sense. Okay, two things can be true at the same time. It is, there are, responsibilities that the city, obligations that the city have to fulfill when it comes to the legal thing of putting cameras up on people's building. You can't just put a camera up on someone's building and not, and not have permission to do that. Okay. So I get that. But my thing is this: you don't necessarily need cameras up on people's building to stop, to have a deterrent. Look, there are these mobile, y'all seen it downtown when they was putting these little mobile lights and the cameras out in the street down by the nightclubs. Those are deterrents to keep people from doing certain things. Why don't they do that same thing over by that park? You see what I'm saying?
You see them cameras that can look in your car, man, when you pass by? You see that? See the interior of your car?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the ones that read the license plate. I haven't quite seen the ones that you're talking about.
They got ones that can see inside your car, the interior.
Okay.
And you think they subtle panels, but they like police type camera. I'm like, oh wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So Twin, all I wanted to do to pull you in today, bro, and I appreciate you coming in.
It's just a replay and people don't understand. They think I'm
all I was saying,
and I'm not with that.
All I was saying was this: if I was a listener of another program, I don't care if it's a podcast or radio, if it's a television show, and I had the ability to make a comment in the screen, and I heard you say something, and it came from Emmanuel Livingston. I don't think I would make the kind of comment that would make Emmanuel Livingston look bad because of something that you're talking about. What I would maybe do is say, that sounds just like Emmanuel Livingston. Maybe y'all should go listen to Emmanuel Livingston and hear it the way that Emmanuel Livingston would say it. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't try to put your description or how you see the situation and say and make it sound like it's coming out of my mouth like it did yours. That's not fair. That's not right. And you know what? People see that hate and shit. They know people. They tend to be hitting me up, telling me like, "Oh man, this shit crazy, bro. Like you should just come over here and you should say it the way it needs to be said." And I'm like, why? I've stayed away from having conversations with people who aren't ready. It's like this. And I know this is gonna sound bad to some ears, but I can only say it the way I know it. I've never been an intervention type of person. Okay. I've never tried to step in somebody's business. That's why I started my own program. I started my own program for people when they ready, they can come listen to me. I don't go advertise. I don't advertise this show. This show stands on its own 2 feet. The people, the lovely people, such as yourself, Twin, and everybody else who are here, y'all here by choice, not by influence. You haven't been marketed to. You're here because you either appreciate my style or you want to hear something that might be a little bit different than you used to. That's it. I don't incentivize anyone to be here. Okay? So when people come, they come on their own, they come on their own cord. Okay?
You basically summed it up why I'm here, because I've been listening to you for like the last 4.5 years, right? And I don't know, I guess God sent me to you or something to get more out of it. Like, because at first I thought you was a goofy at first. I'm going to be honest and man about it. I thought you was straight goofy. I'm like, man, he don't know what he's talking about.
I know.
So as long,
but let me ask you, can I ask you? I know. Let's keep it funky right there. Let's keep it funky right there. Let's keep it all the way funky right there. What made you feel that way? Was it the visual, or was it what?
And then you want to talk about it, and I thought you was a Trump lover, and I thought you was Republican. I'm like, he don't know what he's talking about. And as days go by, and I guess constantly listening and watching, I'm like, this man got game and everything. And I went along, I'm like, and I seen the chat, all this coon and ass nigga, this nigga, and all that.
And where are those folks at now today? Are those folks?
They probably window shopping still.
Absolutely.
Some of them I see still window shopping off your page.
Here's the thing.
But they don't want to admit to it. But that's why I'm still here. And listening whether it's sports, business, or anything else, I want to engage and listen and everything. If I have to say something, express how I feel on your show, you got the right to stop me. Say, Twin, don't call or just listen, something like that. I respect you as a man and as a host. Other than that, I mean, you got a problem me talking on here or anything, address me, or we'll talk off the air or off your podcast. But until then, I'm going to keep rolling this train and everything as a man. I mean, at first, I can admit, and I didn't, I thought you was a goofy. I'm like, man, you don't know what he's talking about. This and
well,
like,
come on, Twin, I need more than that. Because I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind. I mean, we can have a conversation.
But
what was I talking
about? They say you can judge a book by its cover, but until you know that book and everything, then you can be a judge about it or whatever. But other than that, I just can't, just because my opinion about Wyatt, you don't know nothing. But as time goes on, day and time went on, and I started listening, studying you and your movement, I say, he know what he's talking about.
Let me tell you a person that I appreciate. I appreciate you, but let me tell you another brother on here that I really appreciate. Vernon Jordan. Because me and Vernon don't agree on things, but we always tend to find some type of common ground. You feel what I'm saying to you? And I'm not saying this just, Vernon didn't knock some of my ideas and some of my point of views all over the place. We didn't shot pool with our ideas and stuff. And what he's big enough to do is say, Wyatt, I don't agree with that. And then in that same conversation, I'll make a point. He just did it a few days ago. And he'll say, wow, I never thought of it that way. That's a good point. See what I'm saying? And then I'll say the same thing about him, because where somebody disagrees, we can disagree, but we can find a common ground in the disagreement. And
when I argue with you and everything, and I might not agree, but at the end of the day, I inbox you like, why I was wrong, you know what you was talking about. And I had to research and do like, damn, he was right. Even though I went off and, crashed out a little bit, but as the day goes, when I think about it, I'm like, man, that was right, kind of. What I'm thinking about. And I feel bad, but I admit to it, oh, you my bad, Wyatt. You was right.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes, Twin, you can be right, but be wrong in how you deal with your rightness. Does that make any sense at all?
Yes.
Because I do the same thing. I'm sometimes right about something, but my approach and how I say it or how I go about it might be wrong. So now it doesn't have as much power. You see what I'm saying? It's like when you go from 0 to 10 real fast about them cameras and things of that nature, and you hit the ceiling. See, you're taking a lot of power out of your truth when you explode your point, when you you know what I'm saying, when you say it too hard. And here's what I would like to say to some people. What I've learned in life is some people, you have to talk to them and not talk at them. I have a hard time doing that sometimes. I honestly have a hard time distinguishing the two when I'm doing it in at live. Now, if I was doing this show and it was recording and it wasn't live, I would be a much better person at doing this. But since it's live, I can't catch myself in real time. Sometimes I find myself talking at people instead of talking to them. Okay, and that's a thing that a lot of ladies do. Y'all do this stuff. You talk at your man instead of talking to him. I ain't saying all. I'm just saying that's when you get a guy who's saying, she nagging me, because a lot of ladies have this problem, and we do have this problem ourselves because we tend to talk at people and instead of talking to them and opening up a discussion. Sometimes the discussion is necessary for both points to get their points across. But sometimes people are so passionate about how they feel about something that they think when they're loud, when they're loud and boisterous and using vulgar language, they think that it means more of what they're saying. And that's not always the case. Sometimes you're making people not listen.
Hey, before I get my lawnmower started today, and that's out the way, there was 2 questions I want to ask you before I came, because I was going to call them. Hey, Wyatt, when you thought about getting your podcast started, did you like ask your wife? That's the first question. And then the second one was like, what made you really want to? Because you took your time out today. You had other things to do. And what really made you take your time out and like, I'm gonna start this podcast? And what was your belief in everything
That's crazy.
about going about starting?
Let me say this to you, brother.
I always want to ask you that.
You know what, bro? That is the best question of the year. And I know I'm only 7 days of the. I wish someone would have asked me that years ago. Twin, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. This is no pandering to you or anything, bro. That's probably the best question I've ever had since I've started the show. Because what a lot of people don't know is what I'm about to tell you off of that question. The first part of that question is, did I ask my wife? I did not. I did not ask my wife. And let me tell you something, because I already knew my wife wouldn't want me to do it. Okay. Let me just say something that I know for a fact. Martin Luther King's wife didn't like what he was doing. Malcolm X's wife didn't like what they were doing. They may have been acceptive of what they were doing, but they didn't. What they were doing took a lot of their family time, took a lot of daddy time, took a lot of husband time. And sometimes you can find yourself helping everyone else and not helping the people that's right next to you, not helping your loved ones. And I'm not at that point quite yet, but I am at a point where I understood, like, if I ever sat down 5 years ago, almost 6 in March, if I would have sat down and told my wife, I'm going to start this podcast and it's going to probably last about 5 or 6 years. Or I told her, if I would have said, I'm going to start a podcast, I'm going to see how it go. I'm going to give it 6 months. She probably would have, I know she would have said, why, no, Rand, don't do that. Because you got to understand, what I give to this podcast is way more than what people can see. And what I mean by that, and I think Emmanuel Livingston, and I reference Emmanuel a lot because y'all don't know, Emmanuel and I, we used to talk off the air, and Emmanuel is probably one of the only people that didn't really hate on my show. I mean, y'all might not agree with that, but you don't know, y'all don't know how this little world go. But he's the only one that'll shout you out. He's the only one, whether he agrees with you or disagrees with you. He was the only one that ever said my name in a way that would make people come over and hear my voice versus have an opinion of me before they even got here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I peep game. I know who's genuine and who's not genuine and how they move. I can hear my introduction to people and tell if you like me or not. You feel me? That's just my common sense is spread out like that. I mean, if somebody introduced me, I know it. Let me say, one of my favorite movies is The 5 Heartbeats. You familiar with that movie? Everybody on this platform should know what the 5. If you don't know who the 5 Heartbeats are, or what it was, the movie, shame on you. Go watch it tonight, and you'll thank me tomorrow. But listen, remember when the 5 Heartbeats got introduced to the crowd at the talent show?
Yeah.
And they was like, the 4 on the 3.5 on the 2, the 5 Heartbeats. And it was the cousin who did the introduction. See, that was a hater. See how you're introduced to the world and how you're introduced to people. It says a lot how they introduce you. So when people put, like, if they disagree with Twin and then you put my name affiliated with Twin, it can be a deterrent. It can make people say, I ain't even gonna waste my time with the Wyatt show, because if Wyatt is talking like that, if he's repeating what Wyatt is saying and Wyatt sounds just like that, I ain't gonna waste my time. You see what I'm saying? So how you introduce me to someone says a lot about how you really feel about me, or if you really are genuine in your support. See, I've had people reach out to me, Twin, and say, keep going, brother, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And then and they don't support the same, like they really don't mean it. They say it just to see how far you're gonna go. And if you score a touchdown, they're gonna run in the end zone and high five with you. But if it's 4th and 1 and I don't get the first down, they're going to look at you and say, what the fuck? Why you ain't punt? Why you ain't kick a field goal? Take the points. See what I'm saying? They're going to be on the side of the, you know, they're going to be on the winning side. If you don't do the right thing, then if you don't win, then they're going to say, I knew he couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And if you do get in there and you know, go in and divide, you know, and kind of do what people don't expect you to be able to do, you know what I'm saying? Then they want to jump in the end zone and high five and say, I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. Twin, last thing about this. Remember a few days ago when I told people, look, pick your horse. Don't wait for me to be successful at what I'm doing and then want to be on my team. See, there's some people that I've reached out to. There's people I reached out to before we even got to 5 years on this show. There's people I reached out to in my profession. There's people that I reached out to in the boxing world that wouldn't give me the time of the day. I'm talking about all these areas. Wouldn't give me the time of the day. And then, and they chose who they chose. They chose to go with someone else for whatever reason, the popular person or the person that they felt was better. I'm not mad at that. Just when that shit over there don't work out, don't come hollering at me because I've been grinding without you. You see what I'm saying? I've been grinding without you. And the person that got you sitting on the couch over there now and can't do anything for you, that was your horse. So now you got to ride that horse. Don't come hollering at me about, oh, well, you know what I was thinking. No, you should have thought that 2-3 years ago. That's how I feel. But go ahead, Twin, close us out, bro.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted. What's on the agenda today, man?
Well, I was, you know, there's two things. I've seen this video of DJ Envy and the Breakfast Club talking to one of my friends, Killer Mike. And you know, I'm quick to tell y'all when I'm cool with somebody, I don't agree with what everybody says.
Is it a new or old video?
It's fairly old, but it's a topic that should always be talked about. And it's about public school. It's should we send our kids to public school versus private school? Okay, and I'll play the clip in a little bit and I'll give you my perspective. Because what they're basically saying is public school is just as good as private school, and they're debating it. And Killer Mike is saying, no, man, I pay taxes for my kid to go to public school, so I'm going to send my kid to public school. And I'm going to say the majority of all of us went to public school, and we probably think that it's, you know, capable of fulfilling its purpose. And I would say that, you know, I'm going to tell the reason why I think private school is better than public school.
Because you get your money's worth or something?
Well, not necessarily. I'll play the video and then, because if I say it now, it's not going to make any sense. I mean, it would for some, but then some people are going to be like, you know, people prejudge. Like I just said, I'm already prejudged by giving you the inkling of what I was talking about.
You still didn't answer my last question.
What was the last question? I'm sorry.
What really made you start this podcast?
You ain't going to believe it, bro. God. And I know that's a simple, easy answer, but it can't get any easier than that. Let me tell you what God has done for me. God has done so much for me. He's put me in a position, Twin, where a lot of people that look like me have not been in those positions. He's allowed me to overcome things that I can tell people about. That other people feel like there's no hope. Like, you know, the best person in the world to talk to is someone that's been where you've been before. Those are some of the best people who have experienced your tragedies, your fortunes, the things that you go through. Not everything is bad. But some people think that every day, getting up every day is a struggle. And I'm telling you that there's people that went through them same struggles and we're still here and we've been able to overcome some of them things. And, you know, that's the reason why I started it, Twin, is because I got tired of hearing my people being lectured to or taught every day.
Yeah.
The reason why that they're not moving in the direction they need to be moving in is because of someone else. That's one of the biggest reasons why I started.
Okay. I always wanted to, you know, ask you. It's been years, you know, listening to you. And I said, I got to ask because it was on my heart yesterday when I hung up on you. And I said, I ain't going to forget. And I looked on that you was coming on or whatever, and then I'm like, I'm gonna ask him before I forget
Well, I
to.
appreciate it,
What was
twin. That's
what was
actually
his reason, purpose of starting, and did he get okay by his wife?
no, I didn't.
That
You know what?
was I always wanted to know that.
No, I mean that's a legitimate question.
Yeah,
Most people,
yeah.
When Emmanuel gets back, ask him that same question. I'm curious to know. I've never asked him that, but I know
Yeah,
that
I'm gonna ask him
there
too.
is a huge backdoor responsibility from us when we do this, because we come out and we give you our opinions, and there are consequences to some of the things that I say. I've lost people that I've known for years because of my opinion about certain things, and then how some people color me. Like there's people that went off and called me names and all this old shit, and I would have actually done stuff for them. They would have been able to do some things for me. And sometimes we block our own blessings by not even understanding what we dealing with. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Like I've never shown malice to anybody that listens to this show, nor the radio or Emmanuel show or any other podcast. I've never done anything that I felt would hurt them in their pocket or anything. There's a whole lot of stuff that I know the truth to that I don't even discuss because, some things, look, I said something about intervention. I'm not going to force an intervention on someone that's not ready, because I truly believe, and I'm going to use this, and this is the only way I know how to describe it. Okay. I'm a true believer that a drug addict or anybody that's addicted to anything, they're not ready for help. You can't force help on those folks. No matter how bad shit get for them in your eyes, they are not willing. They're never going to be open for help until they're ready for the help. And they have to they can trick themselves into wanting help or needing help. So you don't
believe in intervention programs?
I don't believe in giving interventions to people on my accord.
So you say just let it sweat them out?
No, when they come to me. When they come to me. Let's just say, for instance, Vernon Jordan. Okay. I mean, I can use I'm just using his name here. Vernon Jordan and I have a disagreement about some things, and he listens to what I say, or he hears what I said about a certain situation, and he disagrees and he disagrees, and he continues to go out there and do it the way he knows how to do it, right? And then eventually he says, but you know what Wyatt did say? He did say this, and let me try it that way. And then he's successful at doing it another way, and then he comes back and says, you know what, Wyatt, you and I need to talk. And I'll say, about what? He'll say, man, we had a disagreement on such and such, but your approach was different than mine. I got a buddy. Let me take Vernon out. I got a buddy of mine. Y'all all know him. Some of y'all know him. He told me 2-3 years ago, Wyatt, I done 3 years in the penitentiary. I dealt with some things in my life. And your approach, bro, you changed my life. Now, this is one of my friends that him and I became friends when I was 40 years old. Okay. We didn't even know each other. He grew up in the Faye. I grew up in the Faye, but he's 10 years older than me, or somewhere like that, 7 or 8 years older than me. And he told me at the age of 40, he was like, bro, you changed my life about how to do certain things, how I approach certain situations now, bro. I got to deal with it like that, because what I've learned in approaching it that way, Wyatt, is it makes it easier on the back end. It makes it easier for me to deal with what I really need to deal with. Me going off and saying what I really want to say, it doesn't help me. See what I'm saying? So all I'm saying to you is this. Sometimes differences of opinion are not just differences of opinion. Sometimes it's just the obvious. It's the opposite of what we learned growing up. And sometimes the opposite is what we really need. We don't always need what feels good, what's normal, what we have always been. Look, a guy who can't find a good woman, he's attracted to bad women. A woman who can't find a good man, you're attracted to bad men. That's what it is. You can't tell me there's no good men out here. You can't tell me there's no good women out here. But what I can tell you is what you're attracted to. You're attracted to what you bring in. You understand it? Because what a lot of ladies don't know is when you dress a certain way, it brings a certain element to you. Okay? That element is probably what you're attracted to, whether you want to admit it or not. because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, if I want change in my life, I don't change everybody. I have to change me. So what does that tell you? When you change yourself, your environment changes, the surroundings change. If you dress like a lady that's from the library, chances are you're gonna get library type dudes coming at you. All right. If you dress like a woman that's sitting on happy hour on Friday nights and gonna be at the club tomorrow night in that same outfit, you're gonna get them type of pull-ups, those type of dudes coming at you. So you attract what you attracted to. And you dress and you call them, and that's, you call what your attraction is. People don't understand that, but it's very easy. So when women get to talking that ain't no good man shit, well, you know what? If you stay out of that location of where you always beating these men, your life might change if you go to a different location and start looking and dealing with different people. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Thanks, Wyatt, for everything you do, man.
Thank you, Twin, for being
let me
here.
prevent for a minute and everything.
That's okay, brother.
Keep rolling with you, man.
All
Regardless of anything.
Well, you have a great 2026, and whatever any of your if you want to share any of your New Year's resolution, give me one of your New Year's resolutions, Twin, before you get out.
To be honest, I don't make them.
All right, that's cool.
God bless me.
That's cool. I feel you on that.
I then I try to work on what's missing in twin man or whatever heart.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
Because I'd have done that before in the past, but I don't stick with it. Why? So me learning from that past and why I don't stick with it's like me, like I told you before, I used to tell my kids I'd be back. And so I got I'll bring you them J's or whatever. And they don't see me for me being on the streets all the time hustling. I won't see 2-3 days. Well, you say you was coming back with it. So when I tell them and stuff as they was growing, I'm like, man, I ain't got it. I'll tell them the truth.
All right,
I'll be there tomorrow. And so that's why I don't, make New Year's.
No, I hear you, brother. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe, think of some things that you would like to accomplish in 2026, man, and put them up in the air for yourself to see, man. Put it up on lights, put it up on a visual board or something, and just start attacking some of our dreams in 2026. All right.
Right. Exactly.
All right, brother. Thanks for engaging with us, Twin. Thank you. Talk to you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I actually called for Twin to call in this time. I mean, put it on me. I just wanted to know what we doing. You know what I mean? What we doing? Like, how do you attach me to what he talking about? Now, I don't mean to be, disrespectful or anything, but we listen to what Twin and I talk about here. And even things that him and I agree on, do we say it the same way? Do we say it the same way? Absolutely not. We don't say it the same way. So when you got this perception of someone saying, he's saying exactly what Wyatt's saying, he parenting Wyatt, he's talking about what Wyatt talking about, that's not fair to me. That's not fair, because y'all know Twin and I ain't representing the same topic the same kind of way. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Mr. Wyatt, can you hear me?
I can. What's going on, sis?
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. I seen Texas on my phone, and I said, I think this might be my sister from down the way.
And I just want to reiterate to you, thank you so much for the advice to lash out on your own. It has been a life change in 2 years.
Well, Marquetta, you
absolutely
always
life changing.
You always say that, and I appreciate it. But that's the only look. I said it 4 years ago 5 when I started the program. People said, like Twin, why would you do it? What made you do it? And I said, for every one person like yourself who come back and say, thank you, it was life changing, my business is prospering, I appreciate what you said. Just that alone knocks out 50 like nasty DMs or nasty people that try to shoot shots at me. It's always one successful person that take all the negative shit away from the program for me.
My baby girl, who turned 15 in December, you share her birthday. She is thriving. She's on softball. She got a good I ain't gonna say she got a 4.0 GPA because she got some AP classes, but she up there at least at a 3.75.
That's what's
she
up.
is so intentional. about going to school every day, being on time. She'd be so excited to come home and go in the backyard and play catch. In Cincinnati, I was listening to what Vernon was saying about education, and that's what made me call in. When we were in Cincinnati, I don't think it wasn't that parents didn't value education. It's just that culturally, when you get the kids together, it's so much chaos that the kids who do want to apply themselves, they can't.
That's
because
right.
you competing with the noise in the room.
That's right. Now, I think we got a common voice that you and I listen to, John O'Brien. He always says, go down to the hood, very noisy. Go into certain other communities, you can hear yourself think. You feel me? Like, there's a reason why there's a bunch of noise and a bunch of people sitting on the corner not doing anything, not being productive, singing and doing a bunch of dumb shit. Just nothing's going on but noise. You can't think clearly in noise. Go ahead, sis. Sorry
and
about
the
that.
community is a reflection of the thinking of the people.
There you go.
Like I said, Chris Smitherman I used to see this. Chris Smitherman used to get him and his sons up. They would start work at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays and literally go from the top of Redden Road to the bottom, from California Redden Road down to the bottom of Paddock in California, picking up trash. Because one, he lived in the community, and his sons, he didn't want his sons to think it was normal to see trash everywhere.
Right.
So he and his sons, you would literally see Chris Smitherman and his sons picking up garbage. I used to be tripping like, damn. But I had to think about it,
But what's crazy about that, Marquetta, is this. I worked for Metropolitan Housing, and here's the thing. Not only did they have trash cans throughout the community of Winton Terrace, because that was one of the areas that I worked in, they got trash cans on every corner and in between every corner in Winton Terrace. But you'll still see Grippo bags and potato, and popsicle bags and pickle bags and all that shit all on the ground. And here's the thing. They also had a hiring, they had a program where they would hire tenants to come in and work and call them the ground crew. And I'm saying to myself, like, see, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about wasted money. Why would you need a ground crew for Winton Terrace? Now, this is something I've never said. Okay, Marquetta, you probably know where I'm at with this. Why does Winton Terrace need to employ people to clean up their own community? Why would you need that? You feel me? Why wouldn't you just teach your people how not to throw shit on the ground and walk through the grass? Why don't you just teach? If we're teaching our kids properly, and it's not just kids, because I see people throwing Popeye's chicken boxes and shit out the windows of the cars, and it'll be rolling down Winton Terrace Street. And I'm saying to myself, like, damn, you don't see that everywhere. You don't see that in the suburbs because people know how to take care of their own shit. But go ahead.
I grew up in Cincinnati. I didn't grow up in Forest Park, not Silverton, not Mount Healthy. I grew up in Cincinnati. So I know people, when I was growing up in Winton Terrace, their apartments was clean.
Yep.
And dead sharp.
Yep.
And dead sharp. Everything matched. Everything was clean. And when I was growing up in Winton Terrace, it was more of a community. I can remember my first time seeing somebody eat raw hot dogs. Fuck me up. Your mama go cook your hot dogs, and she was just snacking like it wasn't no thing.
Well, hold on. I got one for that. I'm gonna tell you something. My mama, I lived over the Palm Room, okay, which was Kemper. It was Kemper Road. This was my mother's first apartment, so I was probably maybe 5 or 6 years old. It was an efficiency, and it was right over that club that Mr. Lincoln Ware used to be the DJ at. It was called the Palm Room. And I remember eating cold hot dogs, my mom and I eating cold hot dogs in that apartment because we didn't have heat. We didn't have gas, whatever the stove was. I think the stove was gas. I'm pretty sure it was. We didn't have our heating shit was cut off. So my mother had convinced me that cold hot dogs was a thing. You know what I mean? Like it was okay to eat cold hot dogs. She let it sit out. She let it thaw out a little bit, and we ate the hot dogs out of the pack. And I mean, so I know what cold hot dogs are about. Like it was something that we did. You know, it was just my mom and I, but it was us eating that way because the gas and electric was out.
And see, I think that's what I think for me, when I hear people, I hear a disconnect of people who are on the outside of these communities looking in and who don't really know the struggle or who can really appreciate what a working mother might go through to feed her children. Nobody is raising killers.
Mhm.
Nobody is thinking, "Oh, I can't wait to have this baby. As soon as he turns 16, I'm gonna give him a Glock and I'm gonna go tell him to shut up the block. He gonna be hard." Nobody's doing that. Women, especially Black women, if you're pregnant and you choose to go through with that baby, you can die during childbirth. You're more likely to die during childbirth than any other woman.
Yeah.
During childbirth,
Yeah.
you can get sepsis. You know, the baby could breach.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all
yeah.
type of ways Black women fall through the gap of childbirth and death and children. They saying the numbers are increasing. You know, even since Roe versus Wade, you still have a large mortality rate for Black newborns due to poverty and inconsistencies in healthcare. So when you see a single mother in Cincinnati is a literal slum. In the 1800s, they built those buildings down there and over the Rhine, and they never did nothing else to them. The city encourages the slum lords to take city funding, and they never update the housing. That's why you got all that black mold, you got a bunch of roaches, you got a bunch of
Can
mice.
I say something on that?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Can I say something on that? Because like,
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I hear you. And let me tell you, not only do they do that, sis, the city, and I won't say they incentivize it, but they pay them. There are slumlords that are getting checks from the city of Cincinnati because the city of Cincinnati, I think, my opinion is, they have to pick their poison. Like they have to have these housing. They have to have this housing. So they're kind of caught between a catch-22. And what I mean by that is this. The city doesn't own enough property to facilitate its population. They don't own enough of it. So they need landlords to be able to open their doors for subsidized housing. They need that. And these landlords, and I hate to say this because it's going to sound racist, okay? And it probably does have a racist tone to it, but I watched this truth. A lot of those landlords aren't even white people or Black people. A lot of them are foreigners. A lot of the investment property in our community are owned by foreigners. And a lot of them over the 20 years or 25-year period of time, a lot of them are being owned by foreigners. It's been longer than that, but I'm talking about how they're using buying groups to buy them now. But before that, it was foreigners who were getting all this property in the inner city and getting subsidized rents and getting, I would say, more than market value rent, okay, because of these areas. It wasn't always white people that had us in these positions. A lot of foreigners, and it wasn't us. It wasn't you and I, Marquetta, that owned these buildings in over the Rhine. A lot of us was taking our rents to Tito, or you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, that tire shop that was owned right there by FC Cincinnati. All y'all got to do to prove me right or wrong is find out who FC Cincinnati cut a check for that building. That same brown-skinned man or whatever, he's a foreigner who came to the Black radio station and wanted y'all to save his business. That was his relative that owned that building. Y'all find out who got that check, okay? Find out who got the check, who FC Cincinnati sold that building to. Y'all would be shocked. You'll be shocked to know that you're getting played by a lot of situations. It's just some people include myself, I don't open up and say everything because there are repercussions to the things that you know. And when you start giving information to people, you know, it could be a problem for you. It could be a problem. Some of the things that I say could be a problem. It could be a problem for me. But once I moved to Florida, it was like, okay, I could say almost everything now, but there's still some things that I have to hold back because my own people will reject me. It only take a few of y'all to say that nigga don't know what he talking about. And all he doing is trying to make y'all be MAGA or some old goofy shit that you hypnotized to. And then all my information becomes irrelevant to you. That you see, you know what I'm talking about, Marquetta. You know how they play this manipulative game of I wouldn't listen to him. All he trying to do is trick you. Well, let me tell you something, folks. A lot of y'all already been tricked. It can't be no more tricking. It ain't no more tricking. You are where you are. All you got to do is look at the surface, peel the onion back a few surfaces, and see if it don't still look the same, and you'll find out who been tricking you. It ain't the people, it ain't the ghost in the other room. It's the people you staring right in the face. Go ahead, Marquette. I'm sorry, sis.
I'm at a point, it's 2026. We're at year one. We are going to see, like I said, the great reset is what they call it.
Yep.
You're going to see a quest for world domination. And the problem that I have with our community is we can't hold our community accountable. If I say Black men are murdering Black women every 4 to 5 hours in America, somebody gonna push back and say, well, white men kill white women too.
Exactly.
If I say, if our communities is filled with slums, that's gonna impact the self-esteem of children.
That's right.
So that when they go to school, if there's lead paint, if there's scarcity of electricity or scarcity of food, they're not going to come to school focused. If they haven't had a decent meal, if they don't get a hug and a loving compliment a day, they're not going to come to school focused. You're going to have these angry people just, sitting.
Yeah.
But all of our skin folk are not kin folk.
Absolutely.
And
not.
a lot of us thrive on drama. Like they was excited that, ICE just shot a woman in the head, but they didn't say that woman tried to run that ICE officer over.
Right. And
it's seeding a lot of anarchy. We're not ready for anarchy. We are a community that is already in anarchy. We don't need to be even more anarchist and fighting federal law enforcement and local law enforcement. It don't get us nowhere.
Right.
So, so for us to have conversations in 2026, you have to be, first of all, be a little more mature. I'm a caller. Nobody gives me, there's not 30 people that I know that come to my church 52 weeks out of the year and give me $20. I'm not a church leader. Right. There's not a radio show or a television show broadcast that I have where I'm espousing my ideals. I'm not a leader. I'm not a reporter. I'm a caller. I'm a concerned citizen. And I hurt for my community when I get a phone call from Cincinnati. I'm in Texas. It's been 2 murders in my city. 2. One in 2024 and one was at the top of this year. A man killed his wife.
You talking about in Texas?
In Katy.
Okay.
In Katy. Now in Houston, they're pulling, it's almost 40 dead bodies they done pulled out the bayou. And the police is saying it ain't no serial killer, there's no foul play. But it's a body literally popping up every day. The community saying the cartel is here. It was a homeless man up under the bridge who was hung and set on fire. That's in Houston, though.
Yeah.
Once you leave the chaos of that big city and you come down to Katy, the community is 15% Venezuelan.
Yep.
So they're not looking for drama. The community is clean. It's a housing association. You got to keep your grass cut. But me, I get a phone call. Somebody killed Queen.
Yep.
First of all, who's Queen?
Yep.
Keisha, you know Keisha's daughter, who be dancing such and such. That's her friend. So wait a minute, how old is she? Look, when she was 11.
11.
And
11
somebody
years old.
shot her. What? I get a call, girl, somebody that killed TT. She in the hallway over here at Park E, and somebody that shot TT, and I'm all on the damn Facebook mad about it. And some nigga come up in the comment because he know I know her and said TT was a crackhead. She got killed for doing crackhead shit. Our community we are wicked towards each other. We hate each other. And it's hard for us to hear that because for a long time we've been fed hate the white man, hate the white man, hate the white man. But if you really look at it, we are the Klan. I was so pissed off when I found out about Queen. I did a YouTube video and I tried to show the correlation of how when Black people, whether you know your history or not, it was the Black Republican Party who stood against the Confederacy and won. They became your senators. They became your House of Representatives. Black men. They were Republicans. The Republican Party was built by Black men. It was the party of the free slaves. It was the party to say, cast your bucket where it is and make it do what it do. You can do it. You can do whatever you want to do in this country. We're going to leave you alone. That's how it started. Then the Democratic Party came in response and said no. They burned those Black Republican men and pushed them out of Congress, pushed them out of Senate, took back reparations, and created the Ku Klux Klan as a military arm of the Democratic Party. Now, you can say today they're not that, but historically, that's who they are. And we have literally given up any idea of world domination. We don't even think in regards that we can direct the world. We can own property. We can move this way and that way. We don't think like that no more. Now it's all about beating you up, having a mic drop moment, calling you a name. Like, it's 2026. The white Venezuelans that are here, when they found out about Maduro being taken out of Venezuela, now usually during Christmas and New Year's, they do fireworks real big. They brought them fireworks back out. They was all up and down the street dancing and singing. They was cutting their music up. That's the white people who escaped Venezuela. The Black people who is in Venezuela, they might still be on the side of the revolution because they don't want Yankee foreigners taking their oil. But the people that had to leave, they're happy. They're excited that they can go back home. They can visit their family. Our community don't want to hear that. All they want to hear is bad, bad, bad. And like I said, as a group, you're not loving, you're not kind, you're not considerate.
Well, I gotta challenge that a little bit. I hear you and I agree with you, but I still gotta challenge that a little bit because I just made a comment yesterday, Marquetta, that's just the opposite of what you just said. I have to think about it. I think that we are kind and generous, and that's our downfall. Is because, and maybe this is off track of where you were going, but I think the easiest people in the world to manipulate is people that you can have thinking from the heart. I just said this yesterday. And I think what our problem is we tend to take others' word for things, especially if they look like us. Now, the wickedness that you're talking about is the one we give that comfort to, that guard down to. That's the wicked. But I think the majority of us are so kind that kindness has put us in a position of being taken advantage of. And when we look at these do you understand what I'm saying to you, sis? Like, you can't do this. You can't do this. This is not going to sound good, sis. You can't do what's being done to the Black people in this country. You can't do that to Jewish people. You know who else you can't do that to? You can't do that shit to Asians. They don't trust them. They don't trust people. They don't trust even their own kind until they see that they have proven themselves to be who they say they are. You understand what I'm saying? Us, shit, let a preacher with a church open up his doors. They start passing the plate. They start playing the music. And when the politician and the preachers get together, then it becomes a political movement, not a God movement anymore. You see what I'm saying to you? Now it's all about.
And I hate that. Let me say that to you, because I grew up as a little girl in the community, in the church. Vacation Bible study, going to church on Easter, going to church on Sundays, going to church. So the pastor is a spiritual guide for the body of Christ. They are leaders. It's disgusting to hear people get mad at the body of Christ saying, you can't do that. You a pastor, or you a pastor's wife. People who trying to come out of the world, trying to get into the church, they have a different thinking. They have a different standard, and they expect the pastors to live by that. When people start saying, you don't need to do that, you don't need to, well, what's the point of going to the church? What's the point of calling you pastor if all you're gonna do is pull me into a political party that's not in my best interest?
Okay, I'm gonna say something to that.
That's my opinion.
No, I feel you. I'm gonna say something that I think my brother Black Lion might appreciate, because he just wrote a paragraph or something I haven't had time to read. I didn't know he was here. I'm gonna say something that y'all know I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not the super most religious person in the world, but I do believe there's a higher power. I do believe that there's something in somebody or something that created us that's bigger than us. All of that. I believe that. I think we all believe it in a different kind of way. Some of us believe it the same, some believe it differently. But now let me express something to you. I think the Bible, I think that the story of the Bible, I think a lot of it has been put in a position to manipulate people. Now, don't take that out of context. When I say manipulate, now manipulation does not have to be a bad thing. It's the influence. I think religion is used as a moral compass. Okay? You have to believe in something. Something has to have a story for you to believe in it. You can't just believe something just because you believe it. You wouldn't believe Santa Claus unless there was a story behind Santa Claus. Okay, there has to be the elves and the reindeers and the North Pole and the making the toys. There has to be a story for you to believe whatever it is that's been put in front of you. Okay, no story, no belief. So I believe that the Bible is a tool that was used not just now for moral compass, but it was used back in slavery days and other times to either keep people in check, to make women feel a certain way, make men feel a certain way. I mean, whether it's true or false, I think the purpose of the Bible is what I'm telling you. And I mean, it's kind of obvious, because if you reference the Bible, you're referencing a way of life or how something's going to happen in life. And I think that's what the book is for. So we're supposed to get something out of the book. It's supposed to guide us through our lives morally, respectfully, okay? And some people have been able to use that tool like anything else. The internet is an unbelievable tool to use to educate yourself. I don't have to go to China. I don't have to go to Africa. I can pull whatever I want up on the internet as if I'm even there. And now we got VR, so we can even actually walk in China and it be on our headsets and we can feel like we're in China. Technology is a great thing, but not everybody uses technology for the purpose that it's meant for goodness. They use it for evil. And I think everything that we have on this planet has been converted one way or the other. I don't know anything that's ever been made for evil. I think things are made and turned. There's evil people that turn good things into evilness. Does that make any sense, Marquetta? I mean, because
I'm following along with you. Good. I try not to get into religious discussions. It's what you said though. It's how our people are herded. It's how our people are guided.
There you go.
And that's where I get frustrated, because don't come out to me as a leader and get mad when I question you about your leadership.
Right.
If I ask, instead of shooting back at me, I'm gonna talk about you like a dog. Now you done said something to me about what I do. Well, you hold a certain authority. People look to you for certain guidance. And Dr. Martin Luther King, even though he was fighting for Black Americans, he still took the time out to speak out against the war in Vietnam. He still said, it ain't no way you're going to give me justice and you building up this war in Vietnam. You shouldn't do it. That was his moral authority. And that kind of trickled down to our pastors today. That's why you got all these fake pastors, Al Sharpton and Pastor Jamal Bryant, who I talked about the Target boycott. Target closed stores, fired people. We are people who, generally speaking, have food deserts. When Target left certain areas, it created food deserts. Jamal Bryant drives a Rolls Royce, where everything he got costs $5,000 or more. Every outfit, every scarf is $5,000 and up. And he's telling poor people where to shop. And because he's a pastor, people went with that.
Well, they wouldn't listen to me like that. They see, okay. So if I just stepped on the scene with a gangster lean, with a Tom Ford suit on, and was just trying to guide my people in a certain direction and saying we need to do this, we need to do that, they wouldn't listen to me because I've been on Wyatt Live all this time, and ain't nobody really following my lead. They might listen for entertainment purposes. Then what's the difference between me, myself, Randall Wyatt? Let's take the Wyatt guys out as Randall Wyatt. What's the difference between me, Marquetta, and the guy that the pastor? What's his name? Pastor
Jamal Bryant.
What's the difference between him and I?
Authority. It go back to your Bible. It go back to
he has the manipulative tool. He has the manipulative tool of being a man of cloth. I'm not that. So who are you gonna listen to more so, me or him? If I have $1 million and he has $1 million, my $1 million is not the same as his, because he has the book. He has that manipulative. He has that thing that make our people. I'm talking about our people. I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about our people. We were raised in the church. We were raised to believe that certain tongues and certain people were more prevalent than others. You understand? The preacher was the one who led the community. So my $1 million is not the same as his $1 million. So he could go say, we got to boycott Target or Walmart. If I say that shit, they'd be like, bro, you launching. For what? Why? And then they would hold me accountable.
He quoted a rapist from the pulpit. He said, shake it fast. Watch yourself. I started cracking up. Because I grew up off of G.E. Patterson, E.V. Hill. I've seen real pastors pastoring. He's not that. And I don't like that people have given him moral authority where he is not even moral if you look at his history. But like I said, look at the leadership. Look what he's done. Target housed 120 Black owned businesses, people who work for a long time to get their lipstick up, get their wine up, get their baby dolls up. You saw Tabitha Brown products there. Now they don't have access to that customer base because they told Black people don't go there because of DEI, but you own X all day, you on Facebook all day, you buy Burberry, you riding a Rolls Royce, and all of them have DEI policy, all of them. So, I would not be offended if people don't listen to you on certain things, because like I said, you cannot question. Let me say that. I'm sorry to get off topic.
No. Because let me just say before you say that, it don't bother me that they don't listen, because I think that I'm an intervention. Okay, I'm that guy. I'm different. I don't, and it doesn't bother me because I just don't think that those people who don't listen, I just don't see. There's agendas. Okay, some people don't listen because they're in line for what they getting, and they can't get it the way that I'm talking about getting it. They have to get it through politicians and 501Cs and be hooked up and put on. And I'm not mad at those folks. If the way that you're going to make your living here in America is to get a 501C or a nonprofit organization and sit around and say gun violence is a problem in the Black community and I'm about to solve it with my 501C, and you can get $500,000 doing that, and that's the way you're going to get it, then go ahead and go get it. You can bullhorn and bullshit your way through all of that if you want. I don't care. My way is a little bit different. It's an independent kind of way. It's a way that you don't have to go bargain. You don't have to try to beg your way to your little money every year and keep your fake ass connections every year. My way is a little bit more independent, where others are just trying to put their program together on government money and programs. And there's an exchange for that. That money is not free. You have to keep the relationship of the person that put you on for that position. Them contracts aren't free. You owe down for that shit. You owe down. When somebody in politics give you something, they ain't gave you nothing. Somebody tell me in this world what's free. Hell, free lunch at school ain't free. Somebody paying for it. Go ahead, Marquetta.
Twin, you have to take the time and read the news articles. I was not attacking Vice Mayor, MLK. I wasn't attacking her for her person. What I was pointing out was, if you do the research, it's two things that happened. The first thing that happened was she introduced an anti-gun violence program. She was going to pay people not to be bad. Mark Jeffries said, no, I'm not paying nobody to be bad. Your program is out of here. So they voted against it. Couldn't find matching funds. But then Mark Jeffries said he received a phone call that someone's child that he knew had murdered themselves because they were afraid of Donald Trump's administration. With that, they went to the Cincinnati Health Department and earmarked $500,000 in 2024, $250,000 in 2025, $250,000. This money was split up amongst like 10 different transgender advocacy groups. They get dresses, art class, camping, counseling, and they trained other people on how to deal with children or people who have gender dysmorphia. My opinion is she should have said no. One, no, you can't be, you have to tell people who have gender dysmorphia. Did you see the video that's viral? I put it on my page. The man who said he was a woman at Planet Fitness in the stall, going at it on himself.
I didn't see all of that, but I've seen the Planet Fitness.
He has the right in LA. He has the right to remain at the gym. The woman who reported him got kicked out.
I know it was a sister. It was a black lady. She's been on some shows lately.
This just happened last week. I'm not even talking about Tish Hyman.
Oh, okay. Tish Hyman
is the black woman you're talking about who went into the gym locker room and the man came in erect, saying he was a woman. She had been sexually assaulted as a child. She's a lesbian. She don't want to see that. You're not a woman. I don't want you in here with me. I don't feel safe. The gym put her out because in LA, any man can identify as a woman, and you just have to accept that. The truth of the matter is you cannot, it doesn't matter how you present. Like I've always said, I know plenty of dykes, buzz cut, manly, they look like guys, but mustache, but that don't make them men.
Right. And they don't want to be a man. And they don't want
to be
right.
men.
And that's why I was saying some time ago, I'm sorry to cut you, I just wanted to say this. Some time ago, I said that our civil rights and stuff have been infiltrated by other groups of people. I said there's LGBTQ people, there's lesbians and gays that don't want that type of stuff in their lifestyle. There's just even their lifestyle has been infiltrated by some of the things that they keep adding these letters to these folks. It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be whatever you are. But they don't even believe in a lot of the stuff that's been put in their so-called neighborhood. They don't believe in a lot of that stuff. So, I hear you. I know what you're saying, but
so when the city said we gonna, and people, you don't even live in this night. I don't, but I'm getting calls. I'm hurt. You got $5 million out of that $5 million. You say you got $150 million for the West End. Even though cameras do not deter or stop crime, I get it, but it can help you solve a crime.
Right.
Remember, Krishonda Wynn's murderer, we got a picture of the possible suspect. People just not pressed to put it out there because don't nobody really care about Black women being murdered, especially by another Black person. But that is the comfort of a camera. So to hear the city say you can't hold city council hold the shooter accountable. First off, I don't know who the shooter is, and neither do you, because there was no camera. So there is no real follow-up. And then you lied. I talked about this a year or two ago when Krishonda and Shakita got killed. They promised cameras for 2 years and they didn't put them up. Now when Queen Ray get killed, as soon as she get murdered, they put a camera up. As soon as Mark Jeffries came out and said the money was earmarked 4 months ago. And it ain't have nothing to do with rats. It ain't have nothing to do with private property. They just didn't do it. There was no urgency.
Help me out. Who is Mark Jeffries?
He is a city council person.
Okay.
He is a city council person. So he is an older white gentleman, blonde hair, most likely very privileged. Again, people be talking about Cincinnati, but they're not connected to the people in the community in the city. You might like FC Cincinnati and you want to make sure those fans stay safe. You might like the Bengals. You might like the attractions of Cincinnati. You want to keep those areas safe, but you don't give a damn about the West End.
Right.
And it was obvious because you had the money, you had the equipment, and you just didn't put it up. And and this is my opinion, I hold Councilman Scotty Johnson, and Vice Mayor Lemmy accountable because they were the ones 2 years ago after Dominic Davis was killed who came to the community with the proclamation, renamed the street, with some pastor talking about wait on God, and they said they were going to change things. They didn't do nothing. And because they're Black, we're not allowed to criticize that. We're supposed to be snitching on the murderer. We don't know who killed these people. It's $7,500 reward for Dominique Davis' murder. It's $5,000 reward for Queenie's murder. It's $5,000 reward for Krishonda's murder. If somebody knew, that's a decent amount of money, they would tell. But to demonize our community because you refuse to hold your council accountable, I'm gonna say something about that. And it's not that Twin is wrong. It's just he's angry. He's frustrated because he knows that's some bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's some bullshit. You got $150,000 and you're so worried about the police and over policing
Right.
and surveillance and all of that. We need to be surveillance. Our community is not safe.
Marquetta, did you hear at the beginning of the show? I don't remember if it was quite at the beginning. It may have been in the middle. I made a comment about us holding each other accountable. And sometimes we don't like doing it because what we have to do is we have to blame the people that we love or, like our leaders and stuff like that. And it's just, it's sad. It's sad. Let me just say this. I know we're talking about these cameras, but it's up to the community to hold these people accountable for getting these things done, putting the cameras up and all that. But I want to say something about the cameras. The camera thing is not really messing with me like it's messing with some of y'all. Although you just gave me some information about the money and the allocation of the money, those cameras should have been up because I wasn't really on that page. I didn't know about that. But let me just say this about the cameras. About a year and a half ago, I watched a young man, a young Black man, get shot in broad daylight on a Walmart camera in front of Walmart. I watched him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm in Cincinnati,
Yeah, I
in
remember
Westwood. It was caught on camera. And I didn't hear not one thing about how effed up it was. That murder was caught on broad daylight on a camera. And the person that they took in custody, y'all cheered that he got off. Not everybody, but you cheered the attorney. You cheered how clever the shit was. Nobody said anything about the victim. No one said anything about this is fucked up, how we killing each other like that. Everybody treated it like it was an episode of Power. They cheered. They said, oh my God. They thought the shit was some gangster shit. But nobody thought that it could ever happen again somewhere else. And the reason why I bring that out, the only reason why I bring that up is because y'all so fixated on these cameras. Cameras don't get convictions all the time. But I think the bigger picture of these cameras is we need to hold the people accountable who says this is the deterrent. This is what we're using the money for. I get all of that. But let's not get so caught up in what's going on with these cameras. I think if we fix other things, the cameras won't be as necessary as we're making them right now. Cameras don't always get convictions, folks. Okay, it'll help solve some stuff. It'll help know what we're looking for, but it's not the say all and do all of what we trying to do. That's not me. Hey, Marquetta, that's not me vouching or trying to let the city council and all those people off the hook. That's not me doing that at all, sis. I promise you. What I'm saying to you is, it's a community. We have to be stronger for one another and not expect politicians to do the things that they don't look. It's been too many decades now for y'all to believe that politicians are ever going to do what they say they're going to do. And then when one actually does do what they say they're going to do, then that's the bad guy. Okay? Trump came in and told y'all everything he was going to do. And the people that voted for Trump, they expect him to do it, and he's been doing it. Okay? We get politicians that don't do what they're supposed to do, and we continuously vote for them in hope that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. To me, it's asinine backwards. I just don't understand how we allow the same people to
But let me say this to you, brother.
Go ahead,
Let me say
sis.
this to you.
It's disappointing. It's very disappointing.
A snitch does not protect your community. Tax dollars protect your community. That's why Mayor Aftab came out and said, I'm about to increase your taxes. I need some more money. If you want protection, I need some more money. Tax dollars is what protects you. You, in an ideal Black utopia, if it was, if we was there, if we were Black power and Black fist and Black unity and really believed in community, I could see where we could police each other. But I can't, there is no words, there is nothing that I can do to stop that man from shooting that man in the back after he get off the bus. So because there's nothing that I can do, it's good that I got a camera. And so now I got his picture and I got facial recognition and I can go hold him accountable with a warrant. When the brawl happened, and this is, I don't give a damn. When the brawl happened, from what I heard, the guy in the green shirt was walking down Goonie. Goonie is schizophrenic. Goonie retaliated. The white man thought that he was going to talk big. You know how you get drunk and you bravado. And Goonie retaliated and hit him a few times, knocked him out. And then the big brawl happened. Goonie is schizophrenic. He is somebody in the community that people protect. They rally around because they know he ain't got it all. So people in no matter how toxic it was, in unity, they thought they was doing the right thing because they thought they was protecting Goonie. But it was cameras there. The camera, when we first got the story, it looked like one thing. But when the city cameras came on, you could see the whole thing. The camera holds you accountable. And the community needs cameras. The city promised
Let me say,
drones,
I gotta say something
extra
about that.
patrol, extra cameras, and they didn't do none of that. So you're a sitting duck. Your children are sitting ducks when they go to the park because you have these menaces out there who don't give a damn. They will kill you. They will rob you. They will rape you. They will kidnap your daughter out of the street and turn her out tricking. Yes, they will. And they look just like you. That hurts our feelings to hear because it sounds like you singling out Black people, but that's who it is.
I hear you. Here's what I'm glad you brought up the camera thing the way you did. Here's what I'm gonna say about that. I found it, and I know this is not gonna go over well because y'all love some of these folks that are in these positions, and I'm not singling out anybody. You can figure out who they are yourself. I found it to be a really disturbing that council people came out in support of what was done on that brawl. I said it a long time ago. I said the cameras that y'all see that we watching on Facebook and social media, that's not the visuals that are going to be used in court. They're not going to use any cell phone footage and none of that. They're going to use the city cameras. They're going to use the ones that they had first. They're going to have 3CDC cameras that were in the building. They're going to use those cameras. They're not looking at anything that we're looking at right now. And I found it, quite frankly, and I said this some time ago too, Marquetta, I found it very disturbing that you had city council members out there preaching on misinformation, and they knew it was misinformation. They know Connie Pillage. They knew that the court had different footage of that incident, and they knew what the prosecution was going to go after when they were going after when they were going to prosecute these folks. They knew the evidence. You can't tell me that a city council member is not going to go, doesn't have the ability to go knock on the prosecutor door or make a phone call to them and say, let me look at that evidence that you got. Let me go see what it is that we're going to be out here protesting and see if these people did something wrong for real, or if this guy, the Russian dude, actually started the fight. And when you got leadership that act just like its people just to satisfy its people, even if the people are wrong, I got a problem with that. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I got a problem with that. I got a problem that people in leadership will do whatever needs to be done. Leaders save people from themselves. That's what makes a good leader. A good leader is not somebody that just do what everybody wants them to do. That's not a leader. That's a puppet. That's somebody that's really just in the position for a time being or until time run out. A real leader is going to have to sometime take the bull by the horns and say, look, folks, here's the truth of the matter. Here's what we really need to be working on to be better as a community. We got to hold. You ever notice that I tell you that leaders, politicians never talk about parents? You know why? Because parents are voters. Politicians, they never hold voters accountable because those are the people that got to answer. They have to answer to the voters. So whatever makes the voter comfortable, that's the way that they go. A real leader is going to be somebody that'll go against the grain and tell people what they don't want to hear because it's necessary. And when I seen the leadership come out in support of some misinformation and some bad videos and they had access to the real shit, I got a problem with that. And I'm the only one, mainly because the other programs probably don't think like I'm thinking in this case, but I'm the only one that stepped up and said this before it was even acknowledged that there was other videos out there. I said to everybody months ago, they're not looking at the same evidence that y'all call. If that shit is not even admissible in court, they're going to use the videos from the cameras of the city and whoever else they may have first touchings of the video. 3CDC had video. 3CDC video was not what was on social media. You understand? So you got to look at situations like that to determine if you have good leadership or not. It's bad leadership to tell your citizens that we don't have a crime problem, when in fact it's very look. Who you talking to? When you say there's no crime problem, are you talking about there's no crime problem in Oakley? There's no crime problem in what's give me another clean area that's considered a Cincinnati neighborhood. Oh, there's no crime problem there. But you can't tell me there's not a crime issue in five communities in the city of Cincinnati. And those 5 communities pretty much look like us. So for you to tell me we don't have a crime issue in the city, that tells me that we don't have a crime issue in the important parts of the city. But in yours, yeah, we got a little bit, but we dealing with it, and it's no more than it was last year. It's going down or it's holding steady. I just found that to be, and I said it in time, at real time, unlike Stephen A. Smith and all those guys who all of a sudden want to try to act like what was being, what I said in the, some time ago when it became late and, like old shit. Now they want to bring it up as something brand new. I just found it to be ungenuine of a lot of people who didn't want to say certain things at at certain times because they wasn't strong enough to deal with the community. It's hard to tell people the truth. And you know what's harder than telling people the truth? Because everything in this world is about timing. Success is about timing. Everything in this world is about timing. The worst thing you can do sometimes to people, it's not just telling them the truth. It's the time that they get the truth. And every time is not the right time to tell people the truth. But at some point, you got to say, I got to stop telling the truth 8 months after the fact. I got to stop telling the truth 2 years after the fact. I have to stop telling the truth 6 months after the fact. Sometimes you got to tell the truth in real time for people to understand right from wrong. You can't let them be deceived for 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, and then come with the truth, because it don't mean the same. If somebody's been misled for 8 months, for 2 years, for a year and a half, the truth don't mean the same as it would have in real time, because real time can wake people up to what's really going on. Sometimes we don't want to tell the truth because we're afraid. We're afraid of the blowback from our own people. We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna tell the truth. I don't give a damn about the people. I just wish there was as much concern about the children being murdered in our community as we had about Pastor Bryant's wife's dress. As much concern and outrage we should be at Krishanda being murdered and shot in the back like that as they did, and they had that press conference about making sure that white man got charged. I wish that we had as much energy, as much concern and hatred for the people in our community that is terrorizing us as we do towards Republicans, as we do towards police.
Well, there's an answer for that. There's an answer for that too. There's people in place, sis, that keep us sidetracked from being able to attack these things that we know we should be attacking. There, like I said, there's people in place. I hate to keep going down on the pastors, and I believe pastors are necessary in our communities, right? But you do know that white folks used to go put our pastors on to keep us in line. They would keep us, Malcolm X always said it, our preachers was the first ones that sacrificed us. And that was
pork chop preachers.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they would put them in place to, like we'll go in our neighborhood when some shit happened. It's like the most ridiculous shit in the world. Like George Floyd happened. So we tore our shit up. Okay. We tore our neighborhood up. But when something happens like George Floyd in our neighborhood, like the young little 11-year-old, ain't nobody trying to go tear no shit up. Nobody went and knocked on Miss Rufus' door because we know Miss Rufus' got grandsons out here and they be out here doing that shit. Matter of fact, that little young girl, I don't mean to be disrespectful on her to her family or anything by bringing this up, but everybody know that little girl ain't had no street ties. So there had to be someone in that area, street related, that was hanging out for somebody to get a shot at. You see what I'm saying, yo? We all know the bad elements in our community, but we allow them to hang out and do a bunch of shit and just be out in the streets. We allow that activity to happen, and we don't hold people accountable for having their kids out there like that. We don't hold it's
We
just
just don't.
we don't, and
We
it's
don't.
very
We just
difficult
don't.
to and here's the thing, Marquetta. When you bring up what you bring up, and when you say what you say about we don't hold our people accountable, see, that triggers some other people. That make them say ridiculous shit about, well, what do white people do? You know what I'm saying? Like, or they?
That's so frustrating.
Oh my God! It's or
Wyatt,
when you
you should
hold.
have heard the screams on these calls. You should have. The first call was around Christmas. You should have heard the people from Wanted Hills. My mama lived. My mama lived. Her stomping ground. Everybody know my mama. Everybody knows me. Okay. So her stomping ground is Evanston and Wanted Hills. You should have heard the screams of the people who were close to TT when she got found in that hallway shot like that. It was just especially around the holidays. Now, I could deal with that because TT was grown when the first of the year hit, and her mama went live, and she was trying to hear her mind and her confusion. Like, damn, God, why would you? I can only do so much. I got sons who she was helping me to raise. Why would you allow this to happen to me? Why would you take Queen from me? Why? Like, there was no consoling her. There was nothing that you could say to a mother whose 11-year-old, who wasn't even from this area, get killed like that. The anguish and the distraught. I mean, and that's what pisses me off about the city giving that money to transgender youth, because you making up a mental problem. You making up a mental health issue. You're not, you just spoiled. But when it comes to people who are actually having to deal with the mental health crisis of gun violence in their community, grief counselors are needed continuously. And I'm not saying they're not available, but we could use $500,000 worth of mental health treatment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end with this.
Okay.
I don't want us to always be thinking negatively. I Show Speed is
That's the influencer, right? The little guy on YouTube.
I Show Speed is the most famous influencer in the world. He is a little black boy out of Cincinnati, literally the streamer of the year. Mm-hmm. We as older people, we don't get streaming, but streaming make you a lot of money if you're just sitting on the internet talking to these kids and playing video games with them. So he's a multimillionaire. He's like got $10 million. Right now, he is touring Africa. And the thing about Speed is he's an athlete. So he can jump over cars, and he can jump over, I just watched him pull a car with the most strongest woman in Mozambique, for instance. I Show Speed is what our youth can be if we give them positive reinforcement, if we give them the tools necessary for them to pursue a future, if we give them the idea that the future is good. You know, a lot of kids don't mind going to prison. It's better, hey, my boy in jail, prison TikTok, I'm gonna go to jail, it's gonna be fun. A lot of our kids are not thinking in terms of life can be good, life can be happy, life can be exciting, because like you just said, our community passes the buck. We want somebody on the outside to be accountable for what we need to do on the inside. But I want y'all to look up I Show Speed. Look at that young brother
Yeah,
and what
I
he's
like the
doing.
fact that he's
His whole
self-made.
movement.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's self-made. He's seen an opportunity. You know, he's not part of some vigilant. He's not. He's an independent. He's self-made. I mean, and I love that in people who see a need and see a want and all that, and he provides a service and he's an entertainment, and he's been able to make
He
good
could
on it.
have been on the block. He could have been on the block selling dope. He could have been a shooter, but he did not choose that because we all have free will and we all have our own choices to make. He didn't make that choice. He had a father, him and his mommy fell out, and he moved from Westchester and moved to Cincinnati with his dad. And his dad gave him a little more freedom as a man to do his own future. And this is where it has gotten him. And I just want to, point him out because people look at Black youth and don't see hope. I heard, the other radio show today just basically throw the community away. They don't want no jobs. Everybody just standing on the corner getting high. They a bunch of drunks. That's not true. You just, for a lot of us, we just need the information. Motherfuckers go smoke weed because they bored, they ain't got no money, they depressed, and weed is a elevator, get you out of that thinking for a minute. It's an escapism. But for the most part, people are not skilled because they don't know where to get the skills from. People are not working because they don't know where the job that would give them dignity is at. And instead of us chopping down the kids, those kids don't want to learn. They stupid. They mamas ain't teaching them nothing. You got to really think about the community and what does the community value. If the community is not, I don't know algebra 2. I started coming here talking about some mama can you just you better chat GPT. You better
I'm in that position now. I'm out of date. I can't answer anything for my kids in school anymore. I can't.
I can't help with that.
I can't help.
But I want what's best. Let me tell you, my oldest daughter is an Air Force veteran. She come out of the Space Force. She briefed Kamala Harris's team when they came to California to let them know what the Space Force was all about in California.
Okay.
She now, like I told you, we're here for her. She in school to be a civil engineer.
Okay.
I could never do nothing like that.
Yes, you could.
I couldn't. My mom and my father weren't there like that to push me. Me and Monty's daddy would have never. She went to Wanted Hills. We made sure she had school clothes. Her hair was done. Her self-esteem was in place. We made sure that she knew that she was protected and loved, and we put her in an environment where education was important. Wanted Hills. I went to Wanted Hills. I cussed out all the teachers. I was always fighting. I was always skipping school.
Yeah, but Marquetta, let me just say this to you, sis. Your daughter is a reflection of you. So when she makes it, you made it. See, she can't do that on her own. You installed that study. You installed the things she need to do to be able to get where she's going. So when we say, I could have never done that, I don't really buy that. I hear you. I know what you're talking about. But you would have been able to do it if the same things were done for you that was done for her. So yeah, you would have been able to do it. And how I know that is
that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh.
I had
okay.
I had you. My boss used to Wyatt, my boss used to call me on Teams at 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, just to make sure I was up and on camera ready.
Right.
I ain't even had nothing to do.
Right.
He every morning, 7:30, on the Teams. Good morning, Marquetta. Now the spreadsheet ain't even due till 2:00, but you just making me, you just harassing me. If I didn't have positive people in the community saying, you can drop that 0 today and you can go out and you can create your own business and live an easier life. If I didn't have those type of voices in the community to guide me, I would still be doing that. If I didn't have people in the community, my mother and father were not there like that for me. But like I always say, I had a loving community. I have people. you didn't need fathers back when I was growing up. The community was strong enough that, you know, Miss Green next door and Miss Louise around the corner was looking out for you, and you was safe. It wasn't until the 90s that kind of stuff went away.
Let me say something about
But,
that.
you know,
Let me say something about that. I talk about that a lot on the program. I want to kind of, I'm not, I still stand on that, but I would like to add something to that. I don't know, and this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I'm sure the people that listen to this show who are of age, we're all about the same age, y'all might appreciate this. But guys, we got to take a lot in consideration when we say that the neighborhood and the community raised us. The things that kids have today that are influential, we didn't have. Okay. I don't know if my community would have been as, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think it's something we need to think about. I don't know if the community would have been as relevant and as strong in raising us if we had the same things that these kids have today. When I was 12, there was no rap music. There was no dirty rap music. There was no influential rap music. We had love music. We had the Barcades, and we had the Temptations and shit like that. And Here Come Chaka Khan and all that. They wasn't talking violence. They weren't influencing us to do anything. Maybe some drugs with Rick James and that type of shit. But we didn't go through what these kids are going through today with the peer pressure of we didn't get MTV till we was probably 15, 16 years old. Okay, which I use MTV as marketing influence. Like, they use television to influence us, right? But they didn't have the same lifestyles that they advertise today. And then they didn't have the same resources that they have today to be able to get into the homes. When we were children, Marquetta, once we went home from being outside playing all day, now we became our parents' kids, our grandparents' kids. We were locked in, we were doing whatever, we were doing our homework, we were doing everything that our parents taught us to do. We didn't have laptops, cell phones, TikTok, video. We didn't have all that shit. We didn't have the things that we can sneak away to and be influenced. We didn't have that. So I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if it's fair to say that the community was better back then than it is today. And the only reason why I say that is because I would like to challenge my community that I was raised in with the same situations that the communities have today, with the technology, with the influence of music, with the, we didn't have our parents had to keep us out of gangs and away from the dope boy and the pimps and the hustlers. The parents of today got to keep their kids away from a whole lot more than just that.
People out for roadblocks.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I think I want to stop giving my community, not my community, but the people in my community. Yeah, it was a village back then, but the village didn't have as much to worry about as the village does today. Same worries, but it's a lot easier to make a girl want to have sex, the peer pressure of sex, and little boys' peer pressure of sex. It's a lot easier today for those kids to go see those things and be part of that reckless lifestyle because of the access of things that they have today. The cell phones, the YouTube. It's just too much out there that can influence our kids that we as children didn't have to deal with back then.
I just want to continue to reiterate that the community is, if your family fails, your community can catch you for good or bad.
I agree with that.
For good or bad. For me, and listen, I will fight you about Irish. I'll fight you about Irish Rolly, because she had a store when I didn't have family. She had a store that I could go to that had African-centered books, Black conscious books. They was the first ones to teach me Mata and recycling that dollar. People who in the community, even though you didn't know them, they stood for community. They even even till this day, y'all may not like her. She stands for something in the community. She's a symbol. She's a symbol of sisterhood. She's a symbol of community protection. That's why people be at her all the time. She's a symbol of entrepreneurship. She constantly trying to give us information to improve ourselves and to improve our life. And I don't like when people attack her. And that's why me and one of, some of y'all faves, that's why we fell out, because you're not about to sit up and threaten her and call her names and all that. Because no, she did what she needed to do to inform her community, and it produced a lot of good work. But I'm not gonna keep you too much longer. I appreciate you being here. It's a new year. Everybody, hug on these kids. Quit thinking that they failures because their moms is single. Like, be for real.
Right.
Hug on the children.
Marquetta, we appreciate you engaging with us today, sis. All right.
Yeah, and value each other.
Absolutely. All right, sis. Good talking to you. Yeah, Mark. Hey, y'all can't say that I just be letting Twin talk. If you got something good to say, you can talk about. I mean, hey, I don't mind. Like, I agree with the majority of what she says, but I don't agree with everything. But that don't mean I can't give her the time. You know what I mean? I'll give Marquetta as much time as she needs, because every sermon is not for me. Everything that's said and it's positive for other people, and it may not be positive for me or may not be my cup of tea. That's fine. There was a message in there for someone, and that's cool. Twin the same way. CK and all the rest of the people that call, the regulars that call the show. I don't have to be head of the conversation or lead the conversation. I don't have to do that. I like people that are brave. They may not say the right thing all the time, but at least they stand on it and they're brave. Black Lion, I don't rock with everything you say, bro, but I respect you because you're brave in what you say. You stick on what you say. All right. I believe in a lot what you talk about. I do believe you, and trust me, I know what you're talking about, but I don't agree with everything. You don't agree with everything that I talk about. But at the same time, I respect the strength. And I've been saying this for a long time, man. I'm going to say something that's going to hurt. Y'all ain't going to like it. Marquetta brought up Iris Rowley, Mrs. Iris Rowley. The only thing I don't like, and this ain't even a shot at her, so put your seatbelt on. The only thing I don't like about Iris Rowley, is it's her. Like, it shouldn't be her. It should be more of us. Y'all put way too much on one individual. Y'all put way too much. This woman her name is out there more than any black man in the community. I know y'all gonna be like, well, what's wrong with that, Wyatt? I don't know. The last time I checked, I was always a fan of kings. I've always been a fan of a king. I always thought that a king was more powerful with a queen. And yeah, I know queens are powerful with a king, but I think I'm just a traditional man. I just believe that it should be more black men leading our community. Let me tell you what's easy to attack in this country. A black woman. I mean, I'm not one of those. Y'all know I don't play that shit. You know, I don't play them games. In order for you to listen to me, I got to incorporate the black. No, this is real talk. A black man, a strong black man, I believe, is more feared than a strong black woman. I think a strong black man is heard differently than a strong black woman. Now, y'all can disagree with me. Like I said, we ain't going to agree with everything. But I'm going to say this. There's a difference from a black man going to school about his children. The reaction he gets from the receptionist, the vice principal, and the principal when the black man comes into the school about his kids versus the mother. When the mother come, it's a different reaction. Okay, we got a parent here. She probably going to be divisive. She probably going to do this, and we got to treat her a certain kind of way. But when the man come, I think it's more of a let's sit down and let's hear this out. Let's talk about it. It's dealt with a little bit different. I've dealt with that in my life. That's an experience that I've had. But I have a problem, and I think she understands what I'm saying if she ever watches this. I have a problem with the city that she's in and the position that she's in. I just don't think black men have tried to do what she's been doing. I think that takes a level of bravery to do it, because this ain't gonna go over too well. I know it's easier. This ain't gonna sound right. It's easier to be the woman, the black woman in the neighborhood who stands up. And now the neighborhood will rally around the woman and say, hey, she's a woman, she's black, don't ridicule her, don't do this. That's a woman you're talking to there. A little easier to have that type of back. People have your back. A man probably won't get that same type of reaction from the neighborhood. So maybe I'm wrong here, but maybe that's why men don't do what she's doing. Because if the shit don't work out, we can end up standing there by ourselves. If the community don't come to save us and try to have our back, then we could be standing there holding our drawers in our hand by ourselves. We all know the community coming to support a woman though, right? So maybe it's a little easier for her to do that. But that's not an excuse. There is no reason why she should have to rally black men together for the better of our community. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It should be the men rallying the women and the children up for the community. It shouldn't be the other way around. That's just my opinion. And I think you might want to think about my opinion before you ridicule me or say that I'm crazy. Because if you look at the history of our people, if you really go back and look of kings and queens, the kings rallied. They put the community together. So I think it needs to be more people that look like me and look like you in these leadership roles. It shouldn't take one individual to take the fall or be the bad guy, in this case, the bad person, the bad woman, or whatever. It shouldn't be that way. And I'll be honest with you, I got a problem with the fact that a lot of the reasons why we have the problems we have in our communities, it's male driven. Oh, I know I'm about to get cut off. I know I'm about to get X'd out. My brother saying I didn't throw away my mail card, this and this and that. I know I'm kicked out of the community. I can't come to the picnic and all that old shit. I don't care. Somebody allowed somebody to come in our community and make our women more powerful than us. Somebody allowed that to happen. Somebody made education more important to the woman than to the man. Somebody made it where women have our babies, keep our babies, try their best with their babies, and the man can just be a deadbeat. And it's like, I don't want to say it's okay, but it's been accepted. Somebody's done this. And somebody's made it so convenient. Somebody's made it not an embarrassment that we just accept it. And it's been part of our life, and it's been part of the ruining of our community. See, what's crazy to me is I've heard a lot of different stories, and I've heard a lot of myths, and I've heard a lot of things that are factual, and I've heard things where they say the government came in and our women married the government, and I hear all that shit. Fellas, I'm gonna say one thing to you. And I know this ain't gonna sound right because we always got a reason. You know what I'm saying? We always got a reason. We always got a reason why that happened to us, or a reason why that happened to me. Now I ain't trying to stand on no righteous box or no shit like that. But I've never dealt with a woman in my life. I'm talking about in a serious manner. I've never dealt with a woman in my life that the government could take her away from me. I know that don't sound right. I've dealt with women in my life as a young man because I didn't know any better that another man could come by and snatch her because she was materialistic or whatever, whatever. But I knew them wasn't the right women for me, and I know I can't have kids with them women. But my point is, a lot of the things that we bitching and complaining about, these are self-made problems, creations. I hate to say this, fellas. We got to stop having children with women we don't love. Ladies, you got to stop having children with men you don't love. Because only one of you going to raise them. Because y'all ain't going to be together. It's a sad cycle. It's a sad cycle that has been ignored. And there's so many other stories and myths and reasons why this happened. And I just personally think that we never have real conversations about it. I got to take this last call before I get out of here. Let's do it. He's been holding for a while, about 10 minutes. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how you doing there, Mr. Wyatt?
CK, what's good with you, brother?
Man, this is good living, man. I'm telling you, man, it's good living. What you said about the black woman was powerful. You hear me? I mean, powerful.
Okay.
Because we don't have no power as black men. They try to destroy me. You know, black women tried to get me fired last week. They a lie. See, that's the thing. We don't have believability on our side. The believability is what kills us, sir.
What do you mean by that?
So your integrity. You know, you should know out of all people, you have black wives, black daughters, and they still don't believe your loyalty to the black people. Like, what more do they want? You see what I'm saying? So if you get questioned for your blackness, what can anybody do?
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But CK, you got to understand, man. I brought a point up earlier today. Marquetta was on the phone, and I said, if I have $1 million and I'm just a regular dude, I'm just Randall Wyatt, and I have $1 million and I come to the community and I just say, hey, you know, this is what we need to do to better ourselves. Now I got $1 million, right? But I just talk my talk about how we need to do this and we need to do that. But Jamal Bryant, the preacher, has that. He has $1 million. But what's the difference between me and Jamal Bryant? He has that cloth. He is a preacher. He's an influencer in the community. He's someone that the community has grown to, you know, we've grown to accept these people as being, you know, our spokespeople and our people that we look up to, right? He may not be telling the same story that I'm telling, but the people would rather hear his story because of his background, being a man of cloth.
But hold on, you're a man of the suit. When you wear your nice suits, that makes you an influencer.
No.
When they see you, now they want to hear what you have to say.
No.
When you get on there shiny,
he wears
you looking like
too.
new money, now they listening.
He wears suits too. He wears really nice suits. He's married he's married to a black woman and all of that.
That's good. That's good.
All of that. I'm telling you that we've been trained and we've been taught who to listen to.
But you
Not
come from his cloth though, right? Y'all on the same team then. Y'all speaking, y'all promoting the same type of things.
in two things can be right at one time. In some
Mm-hmm.
cases, in a lot of cases, we're talking about the same thing. I just don't believe that his solution to the problem is right. Okay, it's one thing to say, hey, you know what, CK, I know you don't like that woman that you have on your arm right now. I know you don't like her really, blah, blah, blah. Here's what you should do. You should cheat on her and just go for keep her around until you find someone new. Now that's information, right? You might say, oh, Wyatt,
Mm-hmm.
that don't sound right. But then another guy might come by and say, hey, man, the best way to find a new woman is to get rid of the one that you have right now and just be out there and start dating somebody until you find the right one. Now, you got pretty
Mm-hmm.
much the same information from two different people, but the paths are different. I don't believe that Jamal Bryant is being genuine in his information. I believe what he's going
Okay.
after is genuine, but I don't believe that. I believe that when you clout chase, you're willing to just say things and do things to please the people versus what's really strategic and that will really work. I just don't think that.
But strategic and really work is effective. That's what people don't believe. Because I'm trying to get in touch with Cameron and Mace. They have a show called It Is What It Is. Now, my thing is, I'm a little guy, but the information I have for them could take them even higher than they got. But it's hard to get guys to listen to you because of the level they are financially and the level I am. But all I suggest is take the N words out, take the pause out, because now we're going for the stratosphere, sir. That's Sports Center. You hear me?
Okay.
First take.
Okay.
So
Well, let me just say this to
you
you,
have
bro.
to make sure when you giving these advice, you got to make sure. Like I was telling you last week about artificial intelligence, sir.
Okay.
It is destroying the fiber of the nation, sir. It is destroying us. We can't do anything. Now we have innocent men going to prison, innocent women going to prison. Race is not matter when it comes to AI, sir. Your thoughts?
Well, I think AI is just like any other invention. I believe that it's meant for good. It's going to do really good
What is
things.
meant for good for artificial? This is terrible, sir. What is good about it, sir?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that artificial intelligence is going to be able to do to help the world be better. But of course, there's going to be some people that are going to use it for evil. That's like anything
Not
else.
people. It's not people. It is us. That's what I'm saying. The people believing in the computer. Listen, the facial recognition recognize you 100%, sir. But you have credentials saying you are Randall Wyatt. Your credit card said Randall Wyatt. The police are not going to listen to Randall Wyatt because the camera, the facial recognition, say that's 100% John Doe. So do you understand? If the people believe the technology, you still going to jail. Do you understand?
No, I don't.
See, I just now you done lost. I just told you, you will get arrested, sir, because you think of AI. They will arrest you. You say, no, I'm Randall White.
Mhm.
Boom, this is my driver's license. They say, no, facial recognition just recognized you as a person that is trespassing. You are Mike Jones. You say, no, I'm not Michael Jones. The artificial intelligence recognized 100% that you are Mike Jones. But you have credentials. You know you're not Mike Jones, but you have credentials. But what do the police think? Do they believe common sense? That, yes, this is my driver license from the DMV. This is my credit cards. I have a playing card. This is me. Or do they believe artificial intelligence? That is the essence. Do you trust the technology or do you trust your common sense, sir? This is why you're in prison, because they're going to believe that the AI would not lie. If it have facial recognition 100%, they're going to believe the technology.
Well, that's not
What do
true.
you think?
That's not necessarily true, CK, because there's this technology out called Chat GTP, right?
Yes.
You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay, that don't always tell the truth, and it don't always write the right paperwork for you. There's ways to determine if a person actually wrote it or Chat GTP wrote it. Okay, There's deciphering, and nothing's perfect right now, right? None of that technology is perfect.
But you now have a criminal record, and you are not a criminal. That cannot be, because you've been arrested for something that AI and the police believe the AI. This is the problem with the artificial intelligence,
right?
Sir.
But I don't think we're ever going to get to a position where the judge is going to be an AI judge. I don't think that the prosecutors are going to be AI or the defense attorneys.
But it doesn't matter if the judge believes it's AI. If you got me to believe that's your DNA, sir, you could be innocent. But if they say that's your DNA, sir,
CK.
I'm going to say you're guilty.
CK.
Do you understand?
CK, I'm going to say something referencing from some shit from yesterday. You sitting on this show right now writing a comic book. Your thoughts?
Say that one more time before the thought. What did you say?
What was you doing? Lighting your blunt? It sounds like okay. You're writing a comic book right now. You're drawing out and don't get it. I'm not saying a comic book for comedy. I'm saying you're drawing something out here that is probably not going to be the UI and the usage of, you're making
I'm telling you facts of a person who has this went through, a white man that was arrested in the casino because artificial intelligence 100% identified him twice. First it said 99.6, then it said 100%. The police didn't go by his driver's license. The police did not go by his credit cards. They did not go for his playing card. They believed AI. That is how you get convicted, sir. See, you have to understand masterminds when they talk to you. This is genius talking. You just have to accept it.
Well, so is he in penitentiary right now?
No, it finally got straightened out. But what about what they did to him at this point? What about if you had to go to work that day and you get fired? Think about what you're doing to people. You don't have the right to arrest somebody. You have a certain things you have to do. And he does have a criminal record because of that trespass. And that's how it ended. He does have a criminal record based on a false accusation.
But that's going to happen whether you have AI or not. False accusations happen every day in court, CK.
But if the police did their common sense and went by your driver's license and your credit card,
brother, there's somebody being booked into a county jail right now on false pretenses, and they're going to have to go to court tomorrow, and they ain't had shit to do with anything. There's somebody being pulled over right now.
When you show me in the bank, robbing the bank and shooting the bank teller, what are you going to do? You're going to convict me, right?
Not necessarily.
You see me on videotape.
What if you were at work at the time that all this happened?
There you go.
So you don't.
That's what I'm saying. So you have convictions like that. You saying, damn, I was at work. I got proof saying I was at work. But you have jurors that watch the tape.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You act like just because you at work, you're going to get found not guilty. No, we have alibis and we still have convictions. Stop playing like it's a perfect system. You still can have an alibi and get convicted, sir.
Hold on, let me just ask you, because false convictions happen all the time without AI and all that. But let me just ask you a question. If you work at Popeye's Chicken, and I'm not saying you do, I'm saying let's just use Popeye's Chicken as the example.
Roseland, Dave Parker, yes, sir.
Okay, you work at Popeye's Chicken. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. You don't get off till 6. It's 3:30. Your name come up in whatever, okay, in a murder, and everybody said it was you on the scene, and the camera said it was you, but you at Popeye's frying chicken. You there at 3:30, the same time as the murder. Your boss is at Popeye's. The cashier is at Popeye's. Couple customers that come in on a regular. The people who come in and pick up your DoorDash, they see that you back there. You think you going to the penitentiary for murder?
That's my whole point. These are the cases
I asked you a question.
I was just saying, when you watching the documentary, all those people, all my alibis are talking, saying, how in the fuck did CK get convicted? I testified. I know he didn't kill those people. You act like you don't watch the same shit I watch. This still be conviction. You act like they do convict you with alibis, 100% solid alibis, when you know you didn't do it.
Well, no.
This is the system of America, sir. You're a black man still.
Oh my God, bro.
It's not fair. They're gonna do you wrong, sir. Reuben Hurricane Carter, O.J. Simpson, Tupac Shakur. You seen these people was 100% not guilty, sir.
No, I didn't see they were 100% not guilty.
Yes.
How do you know that they 100% not guilty?
Reuben Hurricane Carter.
I don't know. I'm not saying
O.J. Simpson loved white people more than anything. He would never hurt a white fly, let alone a human being.
Do you hear yourself?
His kids was white. He would never do that to a white person. You know that.
Let me ask you something.
All he did was love white.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever hurt a black person in your life?
Yes.
Go sit your ass down, man. Go sit your ass down somewhere, okay?
I feel bad.
You talking about, bro? Do you hear yourself?
I feel bad.
All right.
But you know, I'm just saying.
I gotta go.
That was
I gotta go,
easy
bro.
setup.
You just
I'm just saying, you done seen it plenty of times. You see what they did to Emmett Till, not guilty. So now when they do it, and you got all these people in there, Dave Chappelle did a skit on it, like, and he shows you could be 100% not guilty, and they gonna convict you because you're black. You wear suits every day. You're a pawn that they need to take off the board. You're too powerful, sir. That's what you're not. You put your you put your daughter through medical school. We don't need dads like that in America. You can start a trend. Don't you understand? This is why you get set up for murder. I did not kill my wife. That's how you get set up.
Breaker 1919. Let me tell you something, brother. I am not the only black man that has children in medical school. Okay, I'm not the matter of fact. There's about 4 or 5 in my daughter's class, and there's probably about 10 Indians in there, and there's like Indian descent people. There's a lot of brown people in my daughter's class. Okay,
that's good. I like that.
Now, let me explain something else to you. You do know there's black doctors out here, right? Already here.
Yep, because of parents like you.
Oh, well, because of people making good decisions and all of that, right? So, CK, please. Stop the conspiracy theories of we getting nailed to crosses and shit because we black. Please stop that.
You know what I'm saying? When Dave Chappelle show you the skit, the reason why it's funny, because it's true. He shows you all that stuff. I got my time clock. I got my boss there. I got the Grubhub cane. Everybody here, and they still convicted me. And now you try to act like, oh, that would never happen. Now you're trying to play like you didn't grow up in America. And you know that happens every day with the witnesses, sir.
What happens every day? I hate to ask this. What happens every day?
What happened to Reuben Hurricane Carter? They put him on death row, sir. They put him on. Emmett Till was killed.
All right, let me ask you one quick question. I'm gonna give you the benefit of this damn argument, okay? But let me just ask you.
I got you today.
No,
I got you today,
bruh. If I thought like you might. But in this case, bruh, I can't even keep up with this shit. But now let me ask you a question. You're in Cincinnati, Ohio, right now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How many black men died yesterday by the hands of police officers?
In Cincinnati?
I don't know. How many in the country?
I say in the country, I say 4.
4?
I say 4.
How many arrests you think were made? How many arrests?
Out of 4,000.
4,000 in the country?
Yeah, 4,000.
In the country?
As far as black men arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say 4,000 yesterday.
I would challenge that and tell you there was 4,000 black men arrested just in the state of Ohio yesterday.
Wow, at that number?
You don't think so?
No, I do believe you. I can trust you over me.
I'm going to tell you, I did an average. I've kind of put this to work one time. There in Hamilton County alone, you're going to have a docket of about close to 100 felonies each day. 100, it was like 75 to 100, averaging 75 to 100 a day in Cincinnati. Okay, that's just in Cincinnati. We're not talking about Cleveland. We're not talking about Columbus. We're not talking about Youngstown. We're not talking about Dayton. We're not talking about Akron. We're not talking about Toledo. We're not talking about any of those other places. We're just talking about Cincinnati. So if you're averaging, let's just say 90 felonies on your docket every day, how many occurrences do you think are happening each day in America with encounters with the police? Us.
Right. I see what you're saying. The numbers. I'm looking at the numbers.
The numbers.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't know it was that high. I thought it was
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
How many black men were killed last year by police officers? What was the number?
I say 78.
You'll say 78?
Yeah, 78, man. 78.
And I'm just gonna use your number for the hell of it. That's 78 too many, right?
Yep.
How many days are in a year?
362.
It was actually 365, but good guess.
I was close though. I
You
was
were close.
close.
So that means there's not even an average of one black man a day being killed, right?
Yeah, they don't have to do that no more.
And to
We
be
do
honest
that
with you, I'm going to
them.
give you the benefit of the doubt because there's way more than just 78 that's being killed. Okay, I'll give you 250 to 280 a year being killed by police officers. That don't mean unarmed or not guilty of something or guilty of something. I'm just talking about shot and killed by the police. 250, 270, somewhere in that area a year. You still haven't got to one a day.
Right.
Okay, so out of millions of arrests, you don't even have 1% of deaths out of millions of encounters with the police. So how is that a problem?
So you saying that's a good job by the law?
Okay.
You saying they doing a good job?
Okay. All right, bro.
That's what you're saying. You saying they doing a good job, right?
No, what I'm saying is you saying that they killing us every day. That's not true.
No.
You said that. And when you said that.
Okay. I see. You're right. Oh, you're right right there. But I'm just talking about far as getting us off. If you're like an influencer like yourself, powerful to get that money.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. When you can
bro.
show.
What else you got, man? I gotta move on. I'm up at the top
But
of the
that was
hour.
good advice to tell us. Just we gonna end on that. What you told us about the money situation. That was good. About all the people getting that's in medical school because we didn't know that. We thought it was a minority.
No, there's a lot of there's a lot of us in a whole lot of places that we don't talk about. Okay, and those are the people that I'm trying to when I come on here and I talk the way I talk, it's because of where I've been. It ain't got nothing to do with what I think. It's what I've experienced. I've seen.
You understand you already won. So we are trying to make other winners out here. I already won in life.
Well,
so
here's the thing.
Tomorrow. So listen, I could die tomorrow.
I just think that there's a whole lot of us doing a whole lot of good. But I have to talk about the bad shit because I have to wake people up to this ain't all of us. This is not how we do things. And if y'all want to keep on talking about how somebody doing us, this is what you need to do to prevent those things from being done to you. And those are uncomfortable conversations. Why don't you see? Do you see? And this is going to be an uncomfortable truth. Why don't y'all ever see people? Why don't you ever see cops dragging brothers out and they got on suits or they live in the suburbs and they dragging black folks? Why is it always inner city poor black folks that get shot and killed or something's going on? You don't think that's like, you don't think that there's something that's, I don't even know how to describe it, but there's a.
But you gotta understand the only reason we have to step our game up because intellectually we are there now. So now if you like I said, one person at a time, by you put me in this situation, now I can lift up a whole 1,000 people. Now when people know me, listen to me, they not gonna go to prison. You hear me? They're not gonna get killed because they know if I could make it back from the dead, from CDL death, I made it from CDL death back on top and I'm better than ever.
All right,
that's
CJ.
what we're talking about.
I got you, brother. I gotta go though, bro. I appreciate you engaging with us today. Okay.
Yep.
All right, bro. Appreciate
Keep on
you, man.
living the dream.
All right, brother. You too, man. I'll talk to you. Couldn't do it no more. That's the end of the calls. I'm done for the day on that. I just want to come out. I just kind of want to. I don't even know how to break up out that one, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll go back to the phone lines tomorrow. I don't know if Sabrina Calloway is still here. I seen her plug in. Few weeks ago, I've been wanting to say this. I got 5 minutes. Can I get this in before I pop up out of here? Or should I go ahead and sign out? All right, David. All right. I'll print those t-shirts next week. All right, listen, let me say this real fast because I've been wanting to say this and I've been wanting to put this one out in the atmosphere, in the environment. Y'all know I grew up at 1335 John Street, right? And that is in Laura Homes in Cincinnati. It's downtown. And every year somebody throws, I don't know who it is, but someone throws a down the way party. Like I don't know. I guess it's a Lincoln Courts, Laura Homes, and it's a reunion. Laura Home reunion party, Lincoln Court, down the way party type of thing, right? Every year. And I haven't been to one in I don't know how long. I'm going to it. I'm going to the one in 2026. I don't care. I need the date so I can book it like now so I can have my shit together by the end of the year. They're usually at the end of the year. I need to have my calendar put in place for 2026 where I can put that date for this year for the Laura Home reunion or down West End reunion, I believe it's called. I got to get there. I haven't been to one. They had it at the Duke Energy Center one time, and I didn't get to that one. I was out of town. I was working, but I am going to make it my business to be there in 2026. And the reason why I say that is because I seen some pictures of some people that was at the last one, and I said I got to get there. I don't know if I'll fit in. Hell yeah, I'll fit in. But let me pop up a couple of these pictures before I get out of here. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, look, here we go. There were some beautiful people there. People that I grew up with, some people I don't know, people that were a little bit older than me. They still kicking and rocking and look still wearing their shit and doing what they doing. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is how do I dress? How do I get to this one? Mama Birch, you and I going together next year. Okay, I don't know if my wife is going to be coming in town with me or what we're going to do. However, I would be honored if you and I, maybe Darnell, if we kind of walk in together, if we go in that joint like, nah, 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 nah. You know what I'm saying? If we go in like that. But I'm going in next year. I was a little intimidated because I did see some people there last year, and I'm like, what do I wear? What do I wear? Now, Sabrina Calloway was there at the last one. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got to go next year. I got to go next year. But here's a picture of that moment, of that day. I think it might have been at the TL. What is that? The QC. What is that place that the TCL or TQL or something like that? I think it was there. And here's some guys at the party. And I'm like, I got to get there. I just don't know what to wear. Check it out. The fuck? I got to get to this party. I just don't know what to wear. Let me see. Let me see if I can put this side by side with my gear on that I'm wearing today. Would it work? Can I get it to work? Let me get my shit straight here. There we go. Can I? Let me see something. Let's get a better shot. Let me get a look. I got to get there. I got to get to this party. My down the way bros. What do I wear to this party? Now, let me show you something that's really interesting. There's my sister. There's Sabrina Calloway and some other folks. I don't know who they are. I can't really see it that well, but I know the queen in the front is Sabrina Calloway. And see, I wasn't going to go until I seen this picture. This one right here, I ain't going to that shit. I ain't going to that shit. You spill a drink on that, it don't matter. You spill a drink on my shit, I got the expense. That's gonna be. You can put some soda on that shit. What my man what is it? Put some alka sauce on that. It'll come out. Can't put no alka sauce on my shit. But when I seen Sabrina Calloway and them that they were there, I'm like, oh yeah. Oh hell yeah, I gotta get to this party. Even my man back there looking all clean. Look at it. And the sister that's right there with him. That's Sabrina Calloway in the front right there, y'all, with the glasses on. I don't think the other lady has glasses on. No, she doesn't. So next year, Mama Birch said, boy, you would outdress all of them. We going. We're going to go. Mama Birch, so be ready. See how they got on the all black? We can do something like that. I've been wanting to show y'all these pictures for the longest. I've been wanting to put that up on the screen for the longest because I said I was going to go. I said I was going to go to the, all right, sorry about that, y'all. I said I was going to go to the next one that they have, and I have all intentions of doing it. Mama Birch, can you get me the dates? Or Sabrina Calloway, if you here, can you guys, somebody send me the dates so I can have Denise put that on my schedule. You know what I'm saying? Put it in my books. I need to be able to make it next year. Hey, y'all, it's been a pleasure today, man. I had somewhat of a fun time. I really did. Let's try this again. Let's try to have some fun tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on Wyatt Live. I plan on being on time tomorrow. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you on the next one. Same time, same place, right here on Wyatt Live. Peace.
Let's go! Yo, now everybody welcome me back like I'm Carter. It's 90s ugly, I'm in the mirror like Shubba. America's most blunted. Cheech and Chong say I'm dun-dada. A bounty hunter for the sour I'ma hit your hood, I'm in pocket high, get around. I'm on my toes like a midget in a urinal. Whoever you connect, boy, better tell them I'm looking for the killer. I'm trying to catch a felon.
I'm looking for who's selling. Mary cooking my cerebellum. I pin and tell him my art is war, Machiavelli. By day 7, see what you're smelling is me and Helen. You see that 7 or 7 C's, call me Magellan. Or call a Reverend, Mac 11 and split your melon. If that don't get him, a honeydew in a split second. America's most put us both in the smoke section. With no sticks and no seeds and no exception.
I'm like, yeah, you know I roll like. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
I'm like, yeah, and then we smoke that.
Now everybody say da-na-da-na-na. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll like. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
I'm like, yeah, and then we smoke that.
Brick City, step
Hey, blunt brothers, you got the herb, the blunt covered. You came to beef with a butter knife that don't cut it. Just cold busted, wild style when I cold crush it. The Gilla House got a Gilla monster, cold blooded. You already, I run with Reggie, I don't puff it. We like De Niro and Joe Pesci, but low budget. Bunch of buzz killers, buzz buzzers, they asking how he do it. Ain't no Nike to
hey, yo,
it, I
Mac,
just
I got
does it.
that granddaddy and I'm listening to Bob Marley. I tear the roof off the porch like it's house party. I got the new edition, that green homie, it's a killer. Ralph, Ricky, Mike, Bobby, Ronnie, and Johnny. Niggas say they got gas, but it's all gas. They talking like a podcast, they can haul ass. I never share and I don't pass the clip, cause that shit on his lip got some shit on his lip, nigga. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll like. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
I'm like, yeah, and then we smoke that.
Now everybody say da-na-da-na-na. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll like. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
I'm like, yeah, and then we smoke that.
Brick City, snap that. Hey, yo, man, this weed I got, bruh, I swear on my mama I can see the future. The hood say I got kush with diamonds. I'm at court in marijuana pajamas. The judge said, you smoke bud? I'm like, yeah, your honor. I got the plug, so my homie got it on the low. Cause I'm looking at your O's, nigga, like, what are those? I got a party in LA. If I run out of bud, I need more like Rudy Ray, nigga.
Pardon my French, I'm so international. This is Doc and Mel, Jim Fumin, Sacre Bleu. The skunk on me, mon ami, pet le vieux. Call your nephew if that's how I give me F with you. This is Vex on more energized, no rest for me. No positive without negative, more or less, homie. The best bud in the West on me, no stress on me. Protect your neck, cause me and Brody got next,
I'm
homie.
like, yeah, you know I roll like. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
I'm like, yeah, and then we smoke that.
Now everybody say da-na-da-na-na. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll like. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
I'm like, yeah, and then we smoke that.